Well, hello, my beautiful friends. How are y'all doing? I hope you're having a great day today. I apologize, no makeup. You can see my eyes all puffy. Flowers are blooming. Pollen is in the air in East Texas, and it has got to me big time. So I apologize for that, but I'm here. I am so sorry about yesterday. We had Tuesday, some bad storms come through Tuesday into Wednesday, and they were pretty rough storms, pretty bad. And the wind was blowing horrible. Well, the wind stayed. And then yesterday, they were gusting up to 60-mile-an-hour winds. And half of our town was out of electricity, and I happened to be on that side. Then when they started coming on, they would go off, come on, go off, come on, go off. So that was my day yesterday. I apologize. Sorry I didn't get to be here, but it all works out okay. So here we go today. You're working on your tan in your flannel PJs. You go, girl. I tell you, it's a beautiful day. And I had just earlier looked at our weather, high 70s, 50s for the low. And then Sunday, we're going to be in the 50s with the 30 for the low. And then Monday, we'll be back in the 70s with the 50s for the low. So, yeah, bipolar weather in Texas for sure. But let's say hello to everyone that's here. Thank y'all all for being here. Hi, Mari. Hi, TJ. Hi, Miss Kathy. Miss Rhonda. Hope y'all are well. Let's see here. Blue Eyes. Hello. Hope you're feeling better. Hi, Texas Plain Jane. Hi, Ash Cash. Laura. Thank you for being here. Sweet Sativa. Belinda. I saw Car Guy in the other chat. And guys, I have no clue what happened. It said I could not go live, that this live had been deleted. But I was on my phone on the live, and I was in StreamYard, and everybody was there, and it said I tried everything I could. So I do apologize if anybody misses it. I'm sorry. Hi, Chit Chat and Elaine. Let's see, anybody else? Hey, D Marie. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. But yeah, I had to do a whole different thing. But now StreamYard is changing up things. And my back screen here that I'm looking at, everything is different. They've even changed the names of some of my folders over here. So I don't know if the transition is happening and it's kind of, we're paying the price for all the glitching. I don't know. But it would not let me go live. I was like, no, I don't have time for this. But here we are. Hope everybody's good. You did, Teresa? Oh, goodness. I tell you what, I'm in the like in the attic that's made into a room, a huge room. And those winds during that storm got so scary that me and my dog went downstairs. I was like, I'm not going to be the top part that blows away today. It was a little nerve wracking. But anyway, so hope everybody's good. I have been watching yesterday best I could watch, but last night everything kind of evened out. We got internet back, we got the lights back on, the wind died down. So anyways, here we go. You would have slept through it. Oh, I don't know. It got kind of it usually I just go with it. And usually, I've told my son, because this is his house where I'm staying right now. And I told him, I said, this is very well built up here because half the time I can't even hear it raining. And we've had some good, strong, thunderstorms or whatever. I could hear the thunder and stuff, but I don't hear the rain hitting the house. But Tuesday evening, I heard all of it. Yes, Teresa, it is planting weather for sure. I tell you, but my granny always told me, never ever put all your plants outside. Don't plant anything that can't do cold weather until after Easter because there will always be a hard freeze right before Easter. And she hadn't let me down yet. I have always stood with that. I don't take my plants out of the house and put them back outside till after Easter. And I've always been glad because there's always been that last minute cold snap. My granny was a big almanac person, and her daddy was that way. They had to live like that because they didn't have internet, they didn't have TVs, they didn't have the news. And, she would tell me how to tell when it's going to rain or when it's going to thunderstorm and all the things. And I'll tell you what, I saw one time driving down the side of the road where I saw a snake belly up. And sure enough, it was a bad thunderstorm that night. But yeah, the cows laying down. If all of them are laying down, it will rain, a good soaking rain. If they're only half of the cattle laying down, it's going to be a little spotty rain. The moon tells a story as well. She taught me all them good old things. And I'm starting to teach my granddaughter. She's like, "You're lying to me." I was like, "No, I promise I'm not." So we've been watching the moon real close. And when it rained the other day, she was like, "Oh my gosh." So, anyways, my whole bones let me know. Yeah, TJ, that is no joke. No joke there at all. Oh, Holly, yeah. No, I'm serious. I keep all my plants inside until after Easter. That has always been my granny. My mother did it that way. I made a comment when I was married and had plants and stuff about looks like a good weekend to put the plants out. My granny chewed me out. She was like, "No way." No way. Not going to happen. You cannot do that. So, good thing I didn't. I think it was the next week that we had sleet. It got that cold for about 3 days. And after that, the next weekend was Easter and we were done. So, anyways, okay, guys. So, I want to show y'all the video of Sebastian riding his bike. It was put out by QueenBee. And I have to go back and put all these channels back in the link because I had to just quickly make this, but I will. So in the description will be all their links and stuff. But I'm going to put up a copyright and I'll play a little music in the background for right now, but it will be linked, I promise. There's been lots of controversy over this video. Now, first of all, the video came out. It's as if Chris Proudfoot is teaching Sebastian how to ride a bike and praising him for doing so well. Seth has come out in chat and said himself he taught Sebastian to ride a bike when they were in California. So then we got to looking at it a little better, and we'll talk about it. But let me show you the video for right now. We'll go over this real quick, and then we'll talk about that, okay? Hey, Miss Magoo, how you doing? Okay, let me get this big for us. And I'm going to let it play a couple of times so you can really watch it, okay? Here we go, guys.
Let's start turning around. Come back this way. Come on, pedal, pedal, pedal. Don't stop. See? You keep it up, you do it, keep doing it. And that's how you ride, man. All right, so turn around, come back. Come on, don't stop. Keep pedaling, keep pedaling. There you go. Come on, you got it. Don't look down, look up. There you go.
Okay, I'm going to let it play again.
Let's start turning around. Come back this way. Come on, pedal, pedal, pedal. Don't stop. See? You keep it up, you do it, keep doing it. And that's how you ride, man. All right, so turn around, come back. Come on, don't stop. Keep pedaling, keep pedaling. There you go. Come on, you got it. Don't look down, look up. There you go.
What is going on with my copyright banner? Okay.
Let's start turning around. Come back this way.
Lord have mercy. Okay. I give up today. I really give up. What is this hair doing right here? Okay. So I saw that video. I thought, oh my gosh, what an amazing video. Thank you. What a gift it is to see this. It has since been debunked. It has been stated that it is 51% AI generated. And I'm going to show you something. When Sebastian is down at the very first and he is turning around, he gets turned around, and when he gets straight on with the camera, this is what we see. And I zoomed in enough to see there is no head. There is pixelation in that space. Then as the video gets closer, right before he gets, he's right in front of the camera when we see this. So I'm not a fan of this video. I'm not saying if it's real or not real. I'm just saying be very careful with what you see, because there's been a lot of talk about it. There's a couple of other pictures. As he is going right past Mr. Chris, you can see a pixelated box where his head shows. You can see it all pixelated around there. And yeah, he knew how. But Seth said he taught him to ride when he was in California. And by the time he got to Tennessee, he was riding very, very well. Did not need help turning around, all the things. So anyways, I wanted to show y'all that. I wanted to show you the screenshots I took off of that very same. I would pause, screenshot it. I don't know how to do the AI stuff. I don't know how to do all those things. That was just a screenshot from that video. And I really, okay, Dirty Scoop said, I've seen the original floating out there. It's very clear. This is a screen, it's a recording of a recording of a recording. Dirty Scoop, is it AI generated in your opinion? Not a CP fan, but I think it's real. Okay. See, there we go. I'm telling you, I can't say either way. I'm not an expert. I did want to show you what I saw. Everybody kept saying his head was down. But it's only until he gets closer that I could see his head pop back up. Is it all just pixelated? I don't know. Misinformation did share a post on X where she sent the video in. It was, 51% AI generated is from what they could tell. And so I don't know if the original, yeah, exactly, Mohawk Mom. Where is his helmet? If this child has that chromosome deletion and it has that pocket of fluid, he should never be on a bike without a helmet. But like I say, I'm just showing you, I'm putting it out there, and y'all make your minds up. You be careful with what you watch. There has been so much manipulation with everything. Videos, fake phone calls, trying to change his voice up, all these things happen. The purpose, I don't know. But it would be very nice to see Sebastian riding a bike. It would be very nice to see Sebastian doing actual things that, kids do. And there's video of it. That would have been nice. But it all's turned into this big drama fest as to whether it's real or not. I think it was put out to show, look, CP's a good dad. Forget the CPS reports. Exactly, Dirty Scoop. Exactly. That's it. That's my take on it when I first saw it. But at the same time, it was like, oh, this is awesome to see. But, then you got all the crap that gets started up with it, and then it just destroys the whole purpose of the video. Yes, Mohawk Mom. So why not put it out in the beginning? I don't know. Anyways, tonight we're going to listen. And guys, my intention was to play Sweetie Pilo and Reverend Donna. And it's a part 3 that they do, is what I was going to play. I had not listened to everything. I listened to a few things. Well, last night, as the lights were still off and on, off and on, off and on. It's QueenBee is who that is. I will definitely, as soon as I get off here, transfer everything that was on the the first one over into this one, and it'll be in the description. I promise. Her link will be there. But listening last night to the Sweetie Pilo and Reverend Donna, I'm not going to play it here, guys. If you want to hear it, definitely, and I'll put Sweetie Pilo's link in the description as well, because It's going to be a choice you need to make, but I will say trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Now, Reverend Donna is a medium. She said, and she called the police, and she was the reason for the Lori Vallow, in the Lori Vallow case, that her 2 children were found. She gave the description of the clothes that they were wearing. She gave the description of them being put in a burn pile and set on fire, the exact location, all the things. There are several times she has over and over and over been helpful in solving these cases. It's up to whether you believe in her or not. But I will say this. She told us exactly what she was seeing, what she was hearing. There were details to it, but it is very detailed. Trigger warning if you go and listen to it. So I'm not going to play it here out of respect for Seth. I just don't want to do that. But I have a video we're going to listen to. And once again, it is on QueenBee's channel. And we are going to use it as an educational thing. Chris talks. He explains things. Yes, blue eyes. It is very heart-wrenching, the things that she says. But I'm just not going to do it. She was right with Susan Morphew case. Yes, there are tons of things. If you'll hang on, I will pull that up right now. I will pull up that exact. I'll put the link in here for the video itself. If you'll give me just a minute. I'll tell you what, let me get started on this. There is a video where Chris goes on panel on QueenBee's. And I want to play this because there are 2 sides of the streets here. Everybody knows it. It is what it is. We're not going to change it. But what we've heard of Mr. Chris, it's been over here on this side. He's over there with his people. And so we want to listen to it to get a different take, is basically what we're going to do. We're going to listen how he interacts with them. I think he feels more comfortable talking to them because he is closer to them. And so I thought it would be a good thing just to hear a different side to Mr. Chris and his opinions as well. So I'm going to pull that up. And while I'm doing all that, I will have the links in this description. And let me get some music going just to have a little bit of that, because I don't want to be struck, and I'm not doing anything hateful. We just want to hear Mr. Chris talk, his opinions, and him talk a little more openly and freely. Is basically what I feel he did when I heard this. And there is a difference to him as well. Let me turn that music down a little bit more. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's get this. It's not real long, and we're not listening to the whole stream. We're just going to do the time he was on screen. I will start just right before it because it leads to their topic, which is basically the GoFundMe that Seth has. Okay, here we go.
It never gets brought up again.
Yeah. And they don't even know how the funds were, where the funds went, or what happened to it. I mean, they were just promissory, right? At that point.
No.
I think so.
No, I think at that point there were already people that were sending to the attorney.
Well, in the beginning, there was a $3,500 reward, and that was all I've heard was promissory from local businesses, which is a common thing for local businesses to do that, to give promissory. Yeah, if we'll donate this much if he's found or whatever, right?
Right.
Well, anyways, but then there was a thing that Chasing had put out saying that there was a lawyer that you could send donations to for the reward fund, and that he would make sure that you got your money back if it was never given out.
Mm-hmm.
But that's never come back. Nothing more has come out about that. And Seth was on Pascal and said, no, hold off on that. Don't send any more. He's got to do some things, and I'll update you on that in the future. And then there's never been another update. And then this Tony guy came on, and now everything's on a whole different platform. And like I said, I have a feeling from what I heard tonight on somewhere else after watching the Voldemort and Tony thing, like a car doesn't run and needs more work. Like, why are all these search people not able to leave and go search? Like, if
they're broke as hell. Hey, Queen, watch your backstage.
Oh, okay.
They're broke. Like, I've never seen people who need so much help to make a car run. You know what I mean?
I've never seen search professionals and responders not be prepared to leave at a moment's notice.
Can I? And wasn't one of these lawyers also? They couldn't figure out who had actually reached out to him. They couldn't get to the bottom of who started that trust fund. Somebody tried, and they couldn't even get to the bottom of it.
There's been no more information.
Because somebody was trying to find out who is behind it, and they couldn't get to it. And I swear, for some reason, I always thought it was Seth who was behind it when he was talking about it.
Well, the lawyer that did it, he had actually gotten in trouble for getting like an inmate out early or something, like trying to get them out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he was kind of like a little shady. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That part I heard, but I don't know if anybody ever went to the bottom of who was that, who did that whole trust fund situation, right? Where did that come from? Who started it?
You're saying trust fund, you mean reward?
Or reward fund. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Yes,
no, I just wanted to make sure I understood what you were saying.
Yes.
Well, and when I said I heard Chasing say that it was this lawyer, blah, 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 and then it was like not even like a day later or 2 days later, I had heard somebody say, now Seth, the lawyer's out and Seth wants any reward fund money to go to him. And then that's when I started really side-eyeing Seth. And I was like, what? And that's when it really started thinking, wow, this is really a money,
Well, that's why I've had so many questions, because there's unaccounted for funds that went to an attorney or was set to go to an attorney. And then the last that we heard was to hold off. And then the next update was, well, you can just send them to the Cash App for Seth.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I sort of know when
please hope he's gonna go get the lawyer's name.
Oh, but nobody still to this day has gone to the bottom of it, though. Who was behind it, which I find super interesting, because I don't don't think the lawyer started that by himself.
Right.
Huh. James
James
Brian
Brian
Lewis.
Lewis.
James Brian Lewis. That's
Yeah.
who the attorney is.
Queen, are you looking at backstage or no?
Yeah, it's he's already up here. He's
Oh,
been
I
up
can't
here.
see that.
I just
My
wait on
bad.
him jump in. You know what I'm saying? I just pop him up, let him, pop in whenever. Just whenever you're comfortable, you know what I'm saying?
Who's our mystery guest?
So you want to know the story behind a lawyer or not?
Oh,
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Please tell me, Chris.
So the story behind the lawyer was Brian Lewis. He was an attorney out of Nashville down on 3rd Avenue.
Oh, we got feedback. Somebody's got their YouTube playing.
So the way this goes down is Brian Lewis is the attorney on 3rd Avenue. Decides he got contacted by somebody from either a law enforcement or a news. From what I understand, it was actually a news crew. And 2 companies decided to give him promissory notes. Nobody ever put cash in on an account. There was no cash. And the rumor was that people could send money to this account. The downside is it would go into a trust fund, but every time somebody tried to reach out to the attorney's office and ask questions, the attorney was out of office or was unavailable to be reached. That even came from his secretary. So there's a couple ladies out there that did some digging and found out that there was no money ever put in the account, strictly promissory notes, and it all seemed extremely shady. So nobody ever put money in this account. We had people reach out to us and say they wanted to donate. We said, well, do your homework and look into the account before anything and then go from there. And it kind of died because nobody was putting money in this account. Now, Seth had mentioned something that he was going to try to set one up. And then supposedly he did set one up, but nobody ever heard anything back from him. I even asked him, I said, hey, when you get the information, let me know. I guess some people that'll donate to it. Never heard from him. Never got any information on it. No, nothing from Seth. So there's actually no reward account posted.
So whatever happened to like Crime Stoppers or something? Don't they always put out some kind of reward or something?
From what I understand, they help with them, but I don't necessarily think they put them out. But I think there has to be some sort of collaboration between law enforcement and Crime Stoppers.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah.
So, hi, Chris. It's nice to meet you. I just want to say, so basically, nobody went to the bottom. Nobody was able to go to the bottom of who started the reward fund to begin with. The first one, correct?
That's from what I'd have to go back and look at all these messages, but a lady did. I will not reveal her name.
Mm-hmm.
But it came back with some sort of one law enforcement person as well as a news anchor. I don't know which channel it was off the top of my head, but they're the ones that reached out and kind of tried to get something started.
Mm-hmm.
However, that attorney, if you look him up, you can read all you want about him. Yeah. Just go from there.
Yeah, we heard that. Yes. Thank you.
So what's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, we're here, hanging in here.
Hanging in there. Storms. Yeah. I was gonna say, you guys doing all right with the storms and stuff going on? I heard power went out. Klum lost all. She said she lost her power as soon as she went live.
Oh, that was the FBI up there cutting cables, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Oh no, we're gonna be next.
Well, yeah, because aren't you paying Clue to stick up for you guys or something like that? I thought I heard.
No, y'all don't know. We're cousins.
Your cousins. That's what it is.
We're cousins.
The cousin with the private jet. How you guys
That's right.
feeling, Chris? Like, how is Katie? How are you? Like, how's everything okay with you guys? Because I don't think people ask you enough of that. Like, how are you doing?
We're hanging in there. I mean, we're doing the best we can for what's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, every day's a struggle, but you know, you gotta get up, put one foot forward, and keep moving.
Yeah. And other than leave you guys, you know, alone, is there anything else the public can do to help in this situation?
Keep spreading the word. Spread as many flyers as possible. Always be looking out. And anytime you think you see something.
So do you so far see a difference in Chris Proudfoot? To me, he seems more relaxed. I think he's comfortable with these people. And I say that because there seems to be a rapport between all of them. I don't particularly care to listen to these creators. They are not aligned with what I feel. Oh, hey, okay, Jen in Georgia after the storm. I gotcha. Thank you. Those were some sweet words. I appreciate it. But as far as Chris, he is, I would say, become friends with them. But I do hear a difference in his demeanor, the way he's talking. He didn't come on in the defensive as if he has to put up his guard and is already angry when he came on. He's in his element here with these people and what they're discussing, and I think he feels safe. Yeah, I agree, CC. But I did think it would be nice to hear a different side of Chris Proudfoot, because everything we're hearing over here that we listen to, he's always on the defensive. He always feels like he has to defend himself and his wife. And over here, he doesn't have to explain himself. They ask him questions. They don't ask him to explain them. But I just wanted to say, you know, pay attention to that. Pay attention to how relaxed he is. Pay attention to why you think he's so comfortable.
Something or hear something, just automatically report it in. I mean, to the law enforcement, of course.
Right.
The perspective idea. Don't want anybody actually using some Google voice chat messenger thing or any other website. If it ain't TBI or law enforcement, I don't trust it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, TJ. TJ just said that this is her comment. If he came up calm and cool and just talked and not be so vulgar, people might not be going after him so much. And I could agree with that, because he comes up very defensive every time he's been on someone's panel here. After the very first time he was on Duchess, every interview we've had, you can tell he has his guard up. He's pissed off already. It seems like, you know, it's like you're already starting out negative, basically. And by the way, folks, bear with me. I cannot edit this video while it's live in progress. It will have to be after this is over with. But I will put it up, and I'll have Sweetie Pilo's link, and I have watch at your discretion watch with caution, and the link to the part 3 video. It'll be up here as soon as this live is over, okay?
Just say thank you again for the conversation we had the other night. Apparently, we lit the streets on fire talking, but I just want to say thank
Same
you
after
again
Jim,
for you
after
and
the
Katie,
storm. Yes, same.
just opening up and being candid and giving us a lot of insightful information on Sebastian. I really appreciate it, Chris.
Oh, you guys are welcome. I mean, anything we can do to try to help.
Sue, let me look and I'll tell you
spreading the
exactly.
word
I
and
think it was 9
doing
months
our thing,
ago.
you know, best we can.
It was quite a while
Well,
back.
Chris, I'm just saying, if you guys want to help, I hear there's a new phone number that you can text.
Yeah, I saw that. You know, so here's the funny thing. Was it Jay for Justice actually did a thing where she called it live on her show, and it rings and rings, and the person sends her a text and saying something like she was away from the phone, but eventually calls back, and then it's a woman that answers, and then they hang up automatically, and then after that she doesn't answer the phone at all. It's like, wow, okay.
So I just learned something new today. I don't know if you want to talk about it,
Sure.
and let me know if it's not. But I heard that you guys actually put money into some kind of fund for finding Sebastian, or for flyers or billboards or something. Is there? I know you might not want to talk about it, but you might want to talk about it. You know what I mean?
I got nothing to hide. Yes, we did donate money to putting toward billboards. Keep Sebastian's billboards going.
Yeah, Duchess had put those out. This is somebody I've never had her on panel before. But yeah, I don't know if we brought it up or not, but they did donate to the Duchess did 2 billboards.
Good. Yeah. No, just so that people hear that because it's rumor mills and all that, and it's good to get positive things out there too.
Yeah,
there's a lot
we
of
played the
rumor mill out
video
there with a bunch of stuff people are saying, all kinds of things. One that, once again, they have no proof of it. It's just ways to get their aspect of finding Sebastian.
And focusing on the details of how can we find him, that.
The main mission is that is the mission, plain and simple. I mean, details will help, but ultimately just either him being found is the only way that this is going to end.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry that you guys are in a predicament surrounding this, I can't even imagine going through 2 things at one time like you are. It's just hell. So,
well, you got to keep your spirits up and keep a good heart, and you know the truth, and the truth is with everybody that needs it, and move forward from there.
Yeah.
It's tough dealing with all the bullshit,
What was that?
So it's still tough dealing with stuff, everything going on, but then all the bullshit from social media on top of it makes things way more complicated than they need to be.
It is. I mean, life is going to continue to move forward regardless of what the outcomes are.
Right.
Whether Sebastian walks in the door, they find him in the woods somewhere, or we never find him. The end game is to bring him home, but the world and life does not stop as we know it.
Life as we know does not stop. Folks, I'm going to tell you, when you lose a child, your life comes to an abrupt halt. Everything stops because you eliminate the whole outside world because your mind can't function. And that doesn't go away within just a few months. It just doesn't happen. I don't understand this part. I can't grip how a step parent, he's a father himself, and I just can't understand how life goes on. Nothing is normal anymore. Your whole world just rotated. And I can't understand it.
Right.
I mean, we still have to go to work every day. We still have to pay bills. We have my daughter that we have to worry about. You know, we have 2 children. We have a boy. We have a girl.
Right.
You know, we still have to take care of them no matter what.
That's what I was saying earlier, Chris, is that, you know, the day that Sebastian went missing, Katie's whole routine changed. Your routine's changed.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing has been the same since. So it has to throw everything into chaos. And you have to find a whole new normal while being under the microscope of a bunch of uneducated wannabes.
Well, it's organized chaos is what it is. You have it's always going to be chaos, but you have to organize this chaos and continue to function in life, period. You just have to.
Folks, you live, you're breathing, you're existing. But there's no way you're going through everyday life. You're no way. No way. Everything's hunky-dory. Order out of chaos. That's it. Doesn't that one make sense? I don't know. Guys, I don't understand him.
Correct. But there's a bad side of this, and that is what the community has done is they have alienated the law enforcement from even talking about this in a certain way, right? Meaning,
how have we alienated law enforcement? How? Why would someone think that we, as everyday ordinary people here on social media, are going to be what alienates law enforcement? Folks, I don't understand their way of thinking because law enforcement is the law. No one on God's green earth can alienate law.
like, they just don't want this chaos that's been created.
Well, I wouldn't say that because if you go back and you look at the beginning of this, law enforcement talked about it for, at least 8 days straight. It was on the news continuously. It was across social media, and it continued to stay out there.
Exactly,
They
Deanna.
did a press release, and they'll continue to release information. Check their website, all that stuff. It's still out there, but the downside is how everybody wants to take and twist everything to benefit and fit their narrative.
First of all, I'm not going to be so stupid that I'm going to twist words that law enforcement has said. Let's clear that one up. Anyone that's going to take law enforcement's words and twist them to fit their narrative is not in it for Sebastian. They're not here to find the God's honest truth of what happened. We have to be real. We have to be straight up forward. I'm playing a video here so we can see a whole different side of Christopher Proudfoot. He came on. He's very calm. He's laid back. He's chilling. You can just tell by his demeanor. He's comfortable here. But to say we're going to manipulate the words of law enforcement to fit our narrative is, where is Sebastian? Where is he? What happened to him? This is about Sebastian. And if law enforcement has information and they put it out, we have to go with their words. End of story. We're not going to be over here changing up what law enforcement has said. And that, folks, is the difference in the sides.
To fit their purpose of everything instead of looking at what it is.
Yeah.
I hear a lot of music.
Yeah, there's some kind
Is
of
your
background
TV
music.
on in the background?
No, she has the background music up for if we play videos, it's too, so
Right.
that nobody can strike her.
I know if Chris has his TV on in the background, that might be why he might be getting it in stereo in the room and through his ear.
Oh no, my TV's in mute mode.
Did you mute YouTube before you came up?
Yeah. I went through StreamYard online.
I do hear the echo.
I don't hear an echo, guys.
It went away when Golf Inspector General muted. That's where it's coming from.
Okay. Because it ain't me.
So the echo comes from me.
You got to turn your TV down.
I don't have anything on.
I was gonna say, it sounds like you're like you got feedback coming.
Oh, maybe from my headset. I'll mute.
Yeah. Truth enough. Whoever that was, come on back up. I just seen you were back there. You were there and then you were gone.
Meow.
I don't know where they were. They were here and then they were gone. So I don't know. So what do you think about this, Tony? What do you think? What do you think about him? He's out right now rolling the TikTok streets. Hey, Truth, how are you?
Doing well. Panel, how are you? QueenBee, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well. Chris, how are you?
How you doing, sir?
Doing well, man. I was just jumping on. Apparently, I didn't ask you enough hard questions the other night, but I wanted to tell you, even with all the bullshit that was said afterwards, I do appreciate you and Katie coming out and putting yourself in a position to be judged every time you come out, regardless of what anybody thinks. Ultimately, Sebastian coming home is the ultimate goal. I do have a question for you, though.
True. I'm good too. Thank you.
Hi, Clue.
Hello.
Love
you
her.
know, with everything that's been going on this week, and I'm sure that y'all have had some time to see it yourself, is it becoming more difficult to maybe keep the information that y'all know from law enforcement, to yourself because of all the craziness, or does it just reinforce that you and Katie are making the right choice by staying out of the limelight?
It makes it very easy for us to not want to talk to people. I mean, I don't have a problem talking with people, but people are going to ask questions and their answer that if I can't answer it or I was told not to, it's simple. I'm simple. It's going to come out like this. Same thing I've said from the beginning. Unfortunately, I cannot discuss that at this time. It's an ongoing investigation. If you have any questions, please reach out to law enforcement and see if they'll answer your question.
Folks, we now know that Christopher Proudfoot was never directed by law enforcement, whether to speak, to not speak, none of the things. He was not told by law enforcement. Law enforcement does not tell a suspect what they can or cannot do. They do not tell a suspect. And folks, my son was a local police officer. He was a state trooper. And I asked him questions on this. He looked at me like I was crazy and he said, is this person a suspect or has he been cleared? Or he said, never mind, doesn't matter. He said, law enforcement of no kind is going to tell a person anywhere related or not related to a case what they can and cannot say. No way. Exactly, Mohawk. More like directed by his lawyer because of the custody battle. But he puts it on law enforcement each and every time. He has done that from the very beginning. And to this day, it has now changed to, you can speak to our lawyer. They said the same thing, huh, Susan? Yeah, I asked my son. I was like, okay, I have this scenario, and I went through it and everything. I did not tell him any connection he had to Sebastian. And he instantly was like, never mind, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who they are, related or not related to the case. No. More than anything, law enforcement wants you to talk. They want to hear what you have to say, and they want you to be saying it in a setting where you're not talking directly to them.
Appreciate the answer.
Which is
It's still
ironic because
ongoing, so we'll see.
which is ironic because the night when we talked, that was my whole point in making sure when we were asking questions that we weren't going to get an answer like that, because then it would have looked like they would have crucified us for that. So we stayed completely Sebastian focused, and then we were crucified for that. I don't know, can't seem to win, but hey, it was a good conversation.
Well, you're never going to win these battles if you are not throwing shade at somebody or continuously trying to find a way to make this the dirtiest, juiciest, drama-ridden soap opera that has ever come across the web. That's the only way that you're not going to find it.
No.
Right.
So in my opinion, their side is not going to find it. Duh.
I mean, if you look at everybody that's out there, you know, and unfortunately you've got some people who are roped into some things and they kind of see for what it was or what it is, and then they backtrack out, and then they're, well, I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that, but yet they're still tying themselves in some form, shape, or fashion to either a person or a group or whatever. And, you know, it's just different. It is what it is, and it's always going to be that way. Any case you come across, it don't matter.
You know, we all have different opinions. And that's our constitutional right, is to have our opinions, to believe in something that we believe in, to see things the way we interpret it. That's because we're all human, and none of us are exactly alike. Every one of us that are here right now, almost 200 people, I can guarantee you we all see things different. We all see things in a different way. It might end up the same conclusion, or it might be different. And that's not a big deal. It's not a problem. The only problem that has arose is the hate. And that's where the problem came in. The hate, the bashing each other, the calling each other out. Justin has said things on his channel, and I'm like, I don't see it that way. But you never see me going live saying, oh my God, can you believe Justin believes this? No. Because that's not how you're supposed to be when you're giving your opinion. No one else should be bashing you for your opinions. None of us here are professionals at investigation or law. None of us are here to say, this is the way it happened, this is who is involved, and this is the only thing you can say. But that's how they are. That's what they're doing. They play people's lives and make fun of them, and that's not what we're here for. And that's the worst part of all of this. It's okay, people, to have your own opinions and your own thoughts.
Is there anything that y'all know that you could tell, but maybe because we wouldn't know because law enforcement hadn't told us? Is there anything that maybe y'all are able to share?
Not really. I mean, everything that could be said can be said, is being said. It also comes back down to one, I'm not going to violate the trust of law enforcement. I mean, unless Absolutely. They say you can release this information, I am not releasing it, period.
Oh, of course.
You know, I mean, that's how somebody has gotten themselves into a pickle with law enforcement before.
Mm-hmm.
They know who they are, and has tried to get back in the good graces with law enforcement, but didn't do himself any justice, you know, not too long ago. So.
And people who really care about Sebastian respect that.
I would hope so. I mean, it's...
Yes, Mohawk. It's just truth to feelings. But it is elevated truth now. He changed it. And that's who is at the bottom with this is in a picture of a bull. That is who that is. Yes. Thank you for clarifying that.
To me, this is not a let's make money off of this thing. It disgusts me when people make money off of this. Like, and you're out there doing things that you shouldn't be doing to financially benefit. That it does bother me, but that's my opinion. It's not everybody else's opinion. So,
hey, Chris.
Yes, ma'am.
There's a question in the chat, and I think it's a good one. If Sebastian were to get internet, would he be able to work like Google Maps to get him back home?
No, probably not.
Okay. Hey, I like the way Coco was thinking. That, you know, I thought it was a great question.
No, it is legit and a good question. I don't think he would know how to go to Google's and type in the address and figure out where he's at the same time. I just don't see it happening.
That's okay. I mean, hey, that helps. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's another information pack that's a little piece of nugget of information. Take that for what?
What I'm more afraid of is, no joke, is, you know, if somebody has him and he escapes and gets out on his own and he runs and screams for help, that enough people don't know about the situation.
Wait. If someone has him and he escapes and he runs out screaming, That would be bad. But isn't the scenario that Sebastian ran away? Isn't that right, guys? Isn't that what we were told? Oh, Elaine, I'm so sorry. And I agree with you. My son was 27 and I lost him 5 years ago. Yes, Mohawk. If he gets out and he escapes and goes running, what? Folks, that's what they've told us all along that he did. He took off. He ran away. That means he was not in a house. That means he walked out on his own. But if someone had him and he escapes, I wonder if someone did have him and he tried to escape. Y'all make sure to listen if you choose to Sweetie Pilo and Reverend Donna. She talks about escaping. It didn't turn out well. Okay, let's go back just a little bit and listen to that. Let me go back a little bit more. Okay, here we go.
Somebody has him.
Oh.
He escapes.
Let's go a little more.
That's a little piece
Here
of
we
nugget
go.
of information. Take that
What
for
I'm-
what?
What I'm more afraid of is, no joke, is, if somebody has him and he escapes and gets out on his own and he runs and screams for help, that enough people don't know about the situation. And
Agreed.
there's a lot of folks out there that don't actually know the whole situation or even know that Sebastian's missing.
Holly, you did listen to her reading, the part 3. Reverend Donna talks about the people that had him and he tried to escape. And it didn't work out well. But here, Chris is worried about people not knowing who he is. Yes, Blue Eyes, I believe he did. I believe he did confirm another clue. He always tells a little bit of truth. Every time he talks, yes, Baba, he does. I swear he does. Y'all, that bothers me. That really bothers me.
I know Sebastian loved. I'm sorry. Am I still echoing, guys? Badly?
No, you're okay.
I'm okay. Just let me know and I'll jump off. I just wanted to know, is there anything he...
Exactly, Prayer Warrior. What would happen if any of us saw a teen running hysterically and asking for help? We wouldn't need to know who he was. We would help. You're right. Most people would. If they saw a kid of any age running and screaming and asking for help, you're going to help them because it's an instinct we all have. My goodness.
He has a fascination with, as far as, culturally or Amish, you know what I mean? Like something like that he would have sought himself to a certain community that you can think of?
Not really. No. Sebastian, he loves video games. He likes food, but he's very picky on what he's eating and what he drinks. But I mean, there's nothing culturally that is going to drive him to an area.
Okay.
I mean, to be honest with you, he probably doesn't even know about the Amish.
Oh, okay. because that was my first thought. Like we were talking, I think with Clue one night, and, and I was like, well, they're so close.
You don't even know about the fucking.
Well, they're close by, and they're very secluded, right?
Well, I know that. I'm just saying, like, he's so young that it caught me off guard too when you asked that. I'm not.
I thought it was a good question, actually.
Well,
It is actually.
It's a great
I'm sorry.
So we
Well, you
went
remember
to the
kids
Amish.
nowadays when they go to school aren't learning the things that we all learned back when we were in school because Amish was
Right.
the Amish was in our history books and our social studies and all that stuff. No, not today.
Yeah. Well, no,
Right.
the reason is they're
like,
close
went
by.
there.
Yeah.
Well, we went there, right? We went to the only Amish community I know of, like in close proximity. And one of the guys at one place actually had already heard about it. And we put flyers up there in that area.
Mhm.
So Marcy's asking if so how she's here. She said voice for the voices, but
Yeah, I saw it.
they have thought. Okay, so if they've thought to put posters in bathroom stalls at truck stops, rest areas, and gas stations.
Yes, ma'am.
We
Now, I will
learned-
say this much: the idea of trying to get them in bathrooms probably will not happen, just simply for different types of reasons. Most truck stops will not put
Right.
that kind of thing in the bathrooms. They have their
Right.
sales ads in there because, one, you're talking about a minor child.
Right. I think people don't. I think people are just, they forget that he is a minor child, and you can't put photos of minor children in bathrooms. I understand, like, it's a good idea, but at gas stations and stuff, there's like different places for that.
Generally,
Like,
they have,
uh,
they have like
generally
a bulletin.
outside, like,
Yeah, there's like a bulletin board near the restroom normally where everybody,
Yeah.
is in and out, and that's a great place for it. Absolutely.
Well, with truck stops, it's best to be on the front door or like the doors entrance from the trucker side, the cars and truck side.
Right.
That's probably your best place to have the flyers, not near the bathrooms.
Well, that's true.
Because you got to think, you're going in and out of a truck stop. One way or another, you're going in and
Y'all just keep in mind, Mr. Chris is pervy to it.
out of it.
Yep, absolutely. Main
So
doors.
everybody's
are
going to see it. Not
absolutely-
everybody's going to the bathroom.
Have you heard of any further sightings at all? Maybe not, like some maybe we haven't heard.
No,
to
as far
Tiplings?
as we know, there is nothing, no new sightings, no good creditable leads yet. But they are looking at every single one of them that does come in. So,
9 months in. That would mean that law enforcement already had surveillance video from all around the neighborhood and had already disputed the fact that there might be Sebastian in a video by a man walking a dog. Just so y'all know, that had already been debunked. It had already been cleared. It was nothing. Yay, all I need is Jesus. Way to go.
Okay, this one's going to be a little invasive.
not really,
Chris-
but keep trying.
Okay. Has your home thoroughly been searched? And when it was searched, can you did they look in every possible crack, crevice, crawl space, ductwork, all of the above? Have they thoroughly gone through your home, Chris?
Yes, my home was searched. I honestly can't tell you the number of times. I know it's been searched well over 10 times, and I'm talking not from the same I'm sorry.
No,
You're
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you're totally good, dude.
From various law enforcement, not just one group, not Sumner County. It has been Sumner County, local police departments that are in surrounding counties, TBI, Department of Corrections brought in corrections officers just to get another grouping look. You name it, they brought it in. What instruments they used, infrared, night vision, heat signatures. They looked in the attic, the crawl space. I mean, my ductwork. No, if you're looking at my ductwork, you better be looking for a micro midget.
What about luminol, Mr. Chris? Did they spray luminol around your house?
Because ductwork in my house is not that big.
Okay, well, I mean, that just, like, people seem to think.
Right? Mohawk Department of Corrections would not send people. Come on now. It's almost comical sometimes.
That maybe law enforcement wouldn't do their job. You see the question continuously in, oh, I bet they didn't look in here, or you've got somebody who wants to put a drone up and look in the backyard. Do you honestly think that if that were the case, then Sebastian would be home and Chris and Katie would be making, and Seth would be making a completely different announcement? Like, I guess people needed to hear those words come out of your mouth. Like, yep, they did this, they did this, they did this, they did this, to understand that
So
all of
for
this.
people to understand this much, if Sebastian was found in my home from day 1 to day 8, if he had been found in this house, we would not be on it having these conversations. We would not be on a YouTube. We would not be part of social media.
Right.
It would have just
Pineapple Icicle Tree here says over 10 times, as I recall from seeing it on their local news and through live streams. 11 of those times were for their backyard, the location where the light video originates from.
have been a very wham bam, thank you ma'am, quick case is solved and done and over with. They moved on. But that's not the case. It's truly not.
Yeah, I'm just floored by all the people who sit here and think that home hasn't been extensively searched. I'm like, are you guys completely stupid?
Well,
I mean,
not only that,
obviously,
I'm sure you guys probably, how many times, I'm sure Katie's probably went in his room several times. You know what I'm saying? Just because.
right?
Common sense, people. Come on now. Fuck.
I think.
Well, that's just, as a mom, it's muscle memory to just go to your kid's room like that.
I think the next question people will have, though, after
I went to my son's room for 4.5 years. And it was the hardest thing I ever had to do was to pack up his room. I didn't even want to leave my house because I wouldn't be able to go into his room. Going out of town was the hardest thing I could ever do. But it wasn't too hard for Katie and Chris. They just put a blanket, some shoes, and some snacks out on the front porch.
After that is, well, what about the grandparents? What about the, you know what I mean?
We've already talked about that. He's answered those questions. He's not coming up here to be drilled. I know that.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to
we're not gonna
grandparents,
do that.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, when it comes to grandparents,
I agree with you. All I need is Jesus. Unless you hear a thud, it's not muscle memory then. Oh, thank you, Miss Kathy. Yeah. To hear a thud, I don't care what age your child is. My son has very, very bad migraines. He just turned 36. I still get worried about him when he has a migraine. I couldn't imagine if there was a pocket of water that is bad to hear a thud. Lord help us.
every house that can be related to this case has been thoroughly searched. Seth's place got searched. My parents, my sisters, cousins, uncles, anybody that has been named in the investigation, all of their dwellings have been searched. Every single thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tam just asked Lolly, what did CP mean when he said if they caught me or Sebastian at home, none of us could be sitting here? Probably because we'd have answers. Because I'm telling you, this boy's going to squeal like a stuffed pig. When they cuff him, he's going to start talking. Especially when they bring his mommy into it.
And not just once, but probably twice to 3 times over.
Let's listen to that again.
Just every single thing.
Mhm.
Let's go back.
All of their, anybody that has been named in the investigation, all of their dwellings have been searched. Every single.
Speaking of the grandparents, they have been named in the investigation. Everything has been searched. All of their dwellings. I wonder if Seth's mother was searched. All of her dwellings. I bet not anywhere near what Chris's mommy was, his sister, his uncles. We know they went to his cousin's house with the warrant to retrieve a laptop. Seems as if Seth's family, his home, it was all checked out and left alone. Isn't that something?
Every single thing.
Mhm.
And not just once, but probably twice to 3 times over.
Chris, I have a question.
Mhm.
So let's run a scenario where like maybe someone has Sebastian and he manages to like escape or get away. If he's like agitated, scared, excited, what would calm him down if someone came across him?
A cat.
Okay.
Great
Cat.
question.
I kid you not.
Do you?
Um,
What about music?
um,
So if you're out searching, Mr. Chris suggests that you carry a cat with you. Not well, if you say his name and say, hey, I know your mom and your dad. Not that. Don't mention that. Just make sure you have a cat with you. These people do nothing to help. Katie was asked the same question and she said, well, they like shiny things. Well, if he's out in the woods, he's not going to have pennies and paper clips. And if somebody's searching, they're not going to have those things either. You're not going to be carrying a cat. Why don't they give details as to something that would really help? Like, call his name. Hey, aren't you Seth Rogers' son? Your dad sent me to look for you. Hey, your mom asked if we could come out and look for you. She's going to be so happy to find you. No, none of those things. Just make sure you got a cat.
Not necessarily. If he's running from somebody or trying to get away, music is not going to be the number one thing in his mind.
Right.
I'm going to tell you right now, the thing that will get him most will be a cat. If
Yeah.
somebody says, hey, we'll help you. You want to come sit with our cat and let us call your mom? Let us call so-and-so. You got a cat. You just became his best friend.
Okay.
Good to know.
That's interesting within itself.
Yep. Useful.
I mean, I kid you not. When
Yeah.
Sebastian's love for cats is so strong that still to this day, when me and his mom started dating, they had cats. And I am allergic to cats. So mom made the choice. They got rid of the cats so we could reject them and keep our life moving forward together.
Mr. Chris could have took a allergy pill daily, but he chose not to. As much as Sebastian loves cats, Mr. Chris would not take an allergy pill, wouldn't even consider it, sounds like. It just, folks, it doesn't make sense to sit here and say the best way is to have a cat. I understand he loves cats. I get that. I love dogs. If I was to see somebody with a dog, I ask them, is your dog friendly? Can I pet him? Oh my gosh, it's so cute. I had a lady yesterday stop me at the store because my dog rides with me everywhere I go, asking me questions about my dog. I get it. But to go out and search for a young man and you don't have a cat, you just ignore it, keep going because you don't have a cat. Give us something else to go by. But there's nothing that they give us other than shiny things and cats.
And still to this day, Sebastian will never let me live it down.
Do you think in the past, just out of curiosity, Chris, in the past, has Sebastian ever seen a cat outside through the window and went out to try to play with it?
Not to go out and play with it. He has seen cats outside the windows. I mean, there's two cats that run around our neighborhood that we know for a fact. One of them, it started out as kind of like a feral cat, but we know who the owners are, and they call it Socks. But it's a gray cat, and it runs around. And then there's like an orangish yellow tabby cat, I think is what they call it. And it runs around the neighborhood. But I mean, that's it. He's seen them, but the cats don't come near him.
Okay. Y'all, this quietness is killing me. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
Well, I'm
much
taking
quiet.
in. I get it. I'm taking in the information that I'm hearing, and adding it to the rest of it so that.
Exactly, reality. He sees cats outside, but he doesn't go outside. Yeah, this kid had a sad life. Hardly anybody in the neighborhood knew there was a kid living there.
That it just sits in that little data bank of mine. So I was just processing about, he's seen the cats, but they've never, he's not petted them or anything. But if you talk to him about a cat or something like that, it would make him, you're going to be your new best friend. So those are just really interesting facts. What a sweet boy.
Savage said tomorrow the tragedy pimps are going to be calling it Catgate.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised. Well,
You guys didn't even talk about Sebastian. You talked about cats the whole time. How dare you?
I got another question about. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Wait, Chris was saying something.
No, I was just going to say that in that released phone call with me and Terry Lynn, she actually tells me she's going to give Sebastian a cat. And I was like, really? Not here. He can send it to his dad's house, but not here.
That's how much Sebastian loves cats. But he can't have it. Not here.
People ripped into that. Look, he'll kill cats. I was like,
Oh Christ.
Yeah, I'm allergic to cats too. We got dogs, but I'm not having no damn cats. My kids love them, but I ain't having no fucking cats. Nope.
My husband's definitely allergic to cats. Yep.
My husband was allergic to cats. My son was allergic to cats. My son begged me to keep them. We had a cat. We kept a cat. My husband would get off the boat. He'd come home. He would take allergy pill. My son took an allergy pill. We enjoyed our cat. Our cat lived a long life.
Oh, I gotta
And notice, folks, there was no cat gate because that's not how we roll.
rule. I got enough boxes of shit. I'm not dealing with a cat that shits in a box. Nope.
What were you gonna say, Truth?
No, that
what-
was nothing.
That
No, it
wasn't
was
me.
Cletus.
That was Cletus up there.
Yeah.
He sounds just like me. He's trying
Oh,
to
I'm
take my
sorry.
sound.
I'm sorry, pardon
Yeah.
me.
When Chris was on Clue Show last time and Truth come up there, we had to all say, we had to
Hello.
count down 1, 2, 3, and all three of us say hello, so everybody knew we wasn't the same person. But
That's
I got a question for you, Chris. Just in talking and thinking through things, is it possible that he's ever gone out the door in the middle of the night without y'all knowing? Is
very
that a
possible.
possibility? Okay,
It's very possible. I'm not going to say he hasn't,
yeah.
because I mean,
but-
don't take this the wrong way. If I'm sleeping, I would not know he walked out my door.
right,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's why I asked why I mentioned the interesting of the cat thing, and also, of course, asked the question that I did because, I mean, obviously, if you're going to try to get Sebastian to trust you, you would use a cat. So I guess my question is, would that be general knowledge for people to know that, or would only specific people know that?
Everybody in my family knows it, and I'm sure anybody that Seth has an association with, they may know it as well. I mean, if he talks about his son, but I mean, as much as it's been put out there, it's general knowledge now. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows it. I mean, if they don't, let's put it this way: if there's any other shows out there that can't say what Sebastian's favorite animal is, well, then obviously they're not paying attention to the interviews or to the things that people are saying.
Right.
So, one more question and I'm done, I swear. But,
No, but ain't.
all right. Well,
You know how cousins lie.
You know it.
so, like, over here, like, we have our neighbor, right? And she has a cat. And he will come over and, like, we'll see him play in our driveway and stuff. Like, do you know of anyone in the neighborhood who has, like, a cat that may go outside that maybe he would have seen?
Yeah, socks. My neighbor
Socks?
behind me, it's their cat.
Okay.
Yeah, he walks through the fences and walks all the way around the neighborhood. He
Does
was seen
Socks
on
walk-
multiple
Sock-
cameras.
Does Socks walk over to where the retention pond would have been? Do you know?
Guys, as far as the cousins go, from what I understand, and I may be completely wrong on this, but she was at one time married to his ex-brother-in-law. His brother. Chris's sister's ex-husband had a brother, and that's who Clue was married to. So they're really not related. But at one time through marriage, they were. Does that make sense?
Very possible. I'm not going to say he wouldn't, but it's very possible.
Is
Well, my
socks
thought process is just like if he was happening to like look out a window or something and saw like the cat, and maybe he was like, oh no, you know what I mean, or gonna go see it and it started running or something.
Well, I'm gonna tell you now, it's so dark in our neighborhood.
Yeah,
At
it would
that
be
time of
hard.
night, there's no way he saw the cat walking.
right?
I mean, for Christ's sakes, the cops can't see an image on
Yeah.
cameras,
right.
so there's no way Sebastian's got night vision and seeing a cat walk through the yard or right up against the brick of the house. There's no way.
Is socks still coming around?
Oh yeah, Sock is still floating around.
Okay, that's all I was curious about.
In fact, we're actually keeping our eye on the cat now, helping our neighbors. because all these storms and stuff, kind of everybody's watching everybody's pets and stuff just to make sure everybody's animals are good.
Right. Hey, JP.
I was listening earlier. I heard y'all talking about some other folks.
Uh-huh.
And I guess some of the things that they were saying.
Yes, sir.
I just kind of laugh at all of it, to be honest with you.
You have very broad shoulders.
As they say, ain't my clowns, ain't my circus.
I know.
Are you referring to the interview we were watching and somebody was interpreting?
Yeah, whoever that was. I mean, come on, really?
Yeah.
Well,
I was just gonna say, stay away from Chris McDonough.
Yes, please.
If he ever comes to interview, don't do it.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, and this is the law of the land. It's real simple. This property has signs on it. You violate what that sign says, I don't care who you are. I will prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law.
As is your right.
Don't care.
As is your right.
I mean,
Yeah.
There's only certain people allowed on this property, and if you don't have that permission,
Yeah.
well,
It's just that he's retired law enforcement, so sometimes people trust him more than they should. So
no, I don't care who you are.
And he made a mockery of the Wells situation.
Well, I would not be the one he wants to do that with.
Yeah.
I also think that was a brave warning because you also own the airspace over your home too.
Oh yeah, sure do. And when you want to know about air rights, let me know. I'm a crane operator. I know all about air rights.
Oh,
so you might know. You have a certain footage above your house that is your space, and nobody's supposed to interfere in that space.
Well, in Tennessee alone, it's a misdemeanor to do that for the purposes of stalking or surveillance.
Well, it's also if you have a drone or you want to fly some type of aerial equipment and you don't have an FAA license and you're doing that, I will let everybody know we don't live in the city limits. We live outside of the city limits. So discharging of firearms is very common outside of city limits in Tennessee.
Wait, is that a threat? Was that a threat? I mean, he said it on the live. Yes, reserved. It is 9 months ago. Yes. I think so, Brandy. I think this was setting the whole situation. Yeah, the whole stage there got set up right there. I will. But I believe he just put out a threat. Hang on, let's go back a little bit. Okay, here we go.
Yeah. I will let everybody know we don't live in the city limits. We live outside of the city limits. So discharging of firearms is very common outside of city limits in Tennessee.
Yeah.
12 gauge will solve that problem.
Let's make something real clear here in East Texas. We don't even have to get off the front step to discharge.
We literally have targets set up against almost every tree in the yard, and we go out front and shoot.
I mean,
oh, that's going to be turned into something good tomorrow, Chris. You know that.
I'll let it. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I mean, well, here's what people have to understand. One, I personally have no reason to be negative or deceitful toward people unless you
Exactly, TJ.
don't.
Right.
We haven't given you a reason other than your personal opinions of what you think about this situation is your personal opinion. Unless you can produce facts, and if you have any, please return them to law enforcement and provide them those facts so we can get some momentum on this case here. That would be amazing. We'd love for it, please. But
TJ, that's funny you said that. She said, Lolly, we can sit in our recliners. Let me tell you a funny story. My grandfather lived in the hill country in Texas. I go visit him first thing in the morning. I get to sit in his lap with the binoculars out his window. He took the screen out, opened the window. I would see the deer. I would tell him where it was. He'd have his gun, he'd gauge in. Pop. Guess what we were having for dinner? Just from his recliner.
But if you have an opinion, just keep that to yourself. That's probably best for those who are best kept.
Keep your opinions to yourself. I live in the United States of America. I have a constitutional right to voice my opinion. And that is not against the law anywhere in the United States, not even in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Let's go back a little
This
bit.
case here, that would be amazing. We'd love for it, please. But if you have an opinion, just keep that to yourself. That's probably best for those who are best kept.
Yeah. And I have to say, I apologize on behalf of that team over there who did that video. And they, when they call it a homicide, because that cannot be easy for either you or Katie to listen to.
Well, here's what I would let them know.
Who mentioned a homicide? Is there anybody on the YouTube streets that has said this is a homicide that's being investigated? No. No one has said it's a homicide. My goodness, these people. I've never heard it being called a homicide until right now, this woman.
If you're calling this case a homicide and you're wanting to call me or my wife a murderer, you should probably think very close and careful about the words coming out of your mouth, because that could very easily lead to a slander and defamation case. And there is nothing in this world that is erased permanently from digital footprint. Just saying.
Let me just say something. Katie and Chris may not have actually done anything harmful to Sebastian that night. But they sure as heck were part of it. That's my opinion.
Most people that are this smart should know that by now, but hey.
Absolutely.
Yep. Can I ask you a question? Is your favorite song "Let's Give Them Something to Talk About"? I like you. You're fun.
Afraid of the dark.
No.
Not afraid of the dark. Perfect.
No, we've taken him to haunted houses. And we did it in San Diego, and we've done it in Tennessee. And, just when we think, oh, he won't make it through this one. I tell you what, that little man goes right on through them just like nobody's business.
My nephew loves haunted houses. He's 14. He loves them. They are his favorite.
Sebastian, the last time we went through one of the guys started to jump out and scared. Sebastian just kind of looked at him and just kind of gave him this roar, like, "I'm bigger than you!" Roar! It was pretty funny. I was like,
That's great.
Hey, Chris, I was wondering if you will sign my petition for justice for the mouse.
"Oh yes, let me get on that
Okay.
one.
Thank you. I'll send that over to you.
Justice for mice. You know it.
Mice on a stick.
I'm gonna have a restraining order to remain
Against the
500
mouse
yards
with
away
the
from
stick.
all mice."
Well,
Black Hawk says, trust me, Chris isn't allowed to step outside his house and fire a weapon just because it's outside the city limits. Try it and see what happens, Chris. Laugh out loud. Dare ya. All right, Black Hawk. Coming in hot, isn't he, TJ?
they're gonna, like, don't worry, nonsense has been getting in trouble for torching scorpions, so it's okay. You can come sit in our crowd. You can sit in.
I thought they were gonna lose their shit over her torching a goddamn scorpion.
I'm guessing they're all friends of a certain organization about animals, I guess.
Nope, they were just some YouTubers that just lost their mind over scorpions. I mean, like, if you live in Arizona, that's part of, if you live where she lives, that's so part of the backyard.
Like, you live anywhere southwest United States, that's probably going to be a commonality. I mean,
well, like, some people have to pay pest control to come in and spray several, like, once a month just to keep that stuff. Oh my God! Like, oh,
we had friends in Arizona that had scorpions walking up in their house on a common basis. You just had to look around. You see them, you just pick them up, and you throw them back outside.
Oh God, no. That's time for blood search.
Almost as scary as the Tennessee viper, right? Isn't that what it was that we have?
No, the cobra, the Tennessee
cobra. The Tennessee cobra. Yeah, that
yes,
one.
Cobras.
Jesus Christ.
And alligators and crocodiles.
Well, we actually have some of those here.
Yeah, we have those.
Yeah.
Been several spotted on some golf courses here lately.
I live up in Minnesota, and you don't have cockroaches here unless you're a pig, or if you live like steam lines or something. But anyways, one time I was down in Texas when I was a truck driver, and I'm sitting there, I'm bullshitting with some people, and all of a sudden something hits me, a bug hits me in the chest. I'm like, what the hell was that? And they're like, oh, is this probably a cockroach? And I was like, they fly here? Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, they fly here. I was like, oh my God. And I went to this distribution center in Tyler, Texas, and my white truck was completely black of these cockroaches outside of it. And I
let me educate this cheesecake here. When you get out of your car certain seasons and it's full of black bugs, they're called black bugs. They're called love bugs because they hook together. They're not cockroaches. They're no bigger than mosquitoes. We don't have flying cockroaches that stick to your car, woman. And trust me, I'm only just a couple hours south of Tyler. But they're called love bugs. Lord have mercy. Prayer warrior, be lucky, because let me tell you, those suckers stick to your car. You're flying through black bugs, little tiny black bugs, and there's gazillions of them. Yeah, we got wood roaches that fly here. You know, all the pine trees we have around here, we have those wood roaches, and they will fly. But they're not out on the roads that slam into your car. That's craziness.
I didn't even want to open my door. I was like, oh my God, that's all I need to do is bring these back to Minnesota. Yeah.
They're seasonal. Even if they don't hit your car, they will die within just a few weeks and they're gone. End of story.
Oh,
If
God.
we don't have
now
any
we've got
where
our-
I live,
now
we
we've
don't
got
have
our
anything
cicadas.
poisonous. What did you say? I'm sorry.
Well, now we got cicadas down here right now, so that's like the big thing going on.
Ugh.
Oh, yes.
They are everywhere. They're flying and they don't stick to bushes anymore. They went into traffic. They're suicidal now.
I can't stand the pressure of being named in a potential investigation. So they're swipe down bombing into cars.
It's amazing. They're everywhere.
We have meth monkeys too. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but we definitely have
DJ.
those in Tennessee.
Meth
Oh, yeah.
monkeys?
Those are everywhere.
Yeah, meth monkeys.
What is that? I have never heard of that.
So there was a guy that kept a bunch of monkeys, and he had an active meth lab, and the monkeys were strung out on meth in Tennessee and got loose, and they've been loose for like, I don't know, a year or two now.
Are you?
So let me tell a funny story for any of you that followed Summer Wells' case. Meth monkeys was part of the conversation. Now, love bugs. Yeah, I hate them. They will take the paint off your car, won't they? For sure, Chris. Yes. But as far as the meth monkeys, guys, that was a true story. A few years ago, that happened again. But the original story started way, way, way back in time. Probably about 60 years ago. The monkeys went out Fred's monkeys. But it is a true story. You can look it up. It is documented. That really, really happened. And then not too long ago, the same thing happened again. The monkeys were getting into the meth at that point. The other story was the man had monkeys. He was doing the moonshine and stuff. He died. His kids didn't want the monkeys. They released them. Anyways, yeah, the monkey story.
Are you kidding?
No,
Wow. Where?
I think it's in Colombia.
So we
Oh,
got
wow.
fentanyl ferrets too. They run around. here.
What did you say? Did you say fentanyl ferrets?
Yeah.
I'm done.
Where is this conversation going?
Oh, well, you know what's
Do
next?
that.
It's going to be bath salt deers, okay?
That was where I was going to chime in with. We got chronic wasting disease. Our deers look like zombies out here. So
We're gonna have mushroom eagles, just tripping and falling into people.
Oh,
I can see it tomorrow. Chris was talking about doing drugs.
I maybe this has probably been brought up before, but I am very fascinated with the retention pond, and I don't know if you can elaborate on that at all, because the traces seem to stop. So the dogs trace Sebastian up to the retention pond, and then it just all of a sudden stopped. Is there like an explanation for that at all that you heard that makes sense to you, Chris?
the scent disappeared.
Yeah.
That's funny. There was no scent,
That's
Chris.
it. I mean, it's
That's it.
the scent disappeared. Once they lost the trace, that's it.
Oh, okay.
That's so crazy to me still. Like, I don't even know how that happens. Like, it just poof.
And does it disappear in the water, or does it disappear like somewhere else outside of it?
Hi, Pop.
Do you
Well, the
know
dog
that?
went into the water.
Yeah.
But I mean, once he comes out of the water, if he comes physically out of the water,
Y'all, yeah, TJ, you're right. I was just fixing to say, y'all remember, we're not supposed to have opinions here. We're supposed to go by law enforcement. Law enforcement says no scent. None. No footprints. None. Lord. I just don't get it, folks. I just don't get it. Do you guys, we're getting close to 2 hours. Do y'all want to keep going and listen to the rest of this, or have y'all had enough? It's your choice. Y'all let me know. Keep going or enough. Keep going. Yeah, scent does not disappear in water. Girl, look at you go. Keep going. Okay, well, hold on, guys. We got to do something quick. Let me get over here to the screen. If it'll let me. Blue Eyes Jewel just gifted some memberships. Why won't it show on the screen? Y'all, I'm hitting it hard. There it goes. Thank you to my beautiful friend, Blue Eyes Jewel. I love you so much. Thank you for that. If you got a membership from Blue Eyes Jewel, please say thank you to her. Let her know how much we appreciate her. And for those of you, let's see if this is going to kick us off or not, but we're going to try it this way. For those of you who just got a membership, we want to say, welcome to the South.
Welcome to the South. We break that good stuff out. We got enough to go around. So can I get a right and get down? Welcome to the South.
Welcome. Yours runs out tomorrow. Oh no. Y'all make sure that you check your membership. You can go into gifts or memberships, I think it is, and there's an option to receive gifts. Maybe you go into the little dollar sign and go in there, and you can go under gifts and you can check to receive it. But thank you, Blue Eyes. I love you so much. Appreciate you even more. You're such a sweet person. So glad you're my friend. Okay, so y'all, let's keep going. I think what we're going to do is speed it up a little. I thought I had it sped up a little more, but it might not have. Let me see what we can do. We're going to kind of just speed them up a little. They're very, very relaxed. Let's see. See, it wasn't sped up at all. Let's go a little more. Let's go here. Okay, we're going to keep going, guys. I know. Yeah, they're all on the habit juice. Okay, here we go. Some more.
Water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they can't detect in the water, can they?
The scent was strong enough that the dog jumped in the water.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Granted,
Okay, see,
keep
I
in
didn't
mind,
even know
this
that. Now, hold on.
retention-
If he jumped in the water, did they drain the pond?
Oh yeah. Oh, so all right. So here's the thing with this retention pond. The first dog beelines over that way. He's got a strong scent. He's gone. And I mean, there's an audio tape from the dispatch to the law enforcement officers, and you can hear all of this on that tape. So for anybody who says I'm making this up, well, good luck. But on the tape, I mean, you hear the dispatcher tell the officers tell the dispatch, they said,
Prayer Warrior, isn't it funny the difference in him? That's why I wanted to play this one because it's a whole different side of Christopher Proudfoot. You know, I mean, we hear him laid back, relaxed, just having a conversation. No attitude, no upset, no nothing like that. It's a whole different side.
said more people over here. Max has got a scent, and He's headed to the retention pond. They get there. He jumps in the water. And the retention pond at the time was no deeper than my knee. So we're talking less than 3 feet deep. And they have drained the retention pond. Didn't find anything. Scent just disappears.
Do you all remember when Mr. Chris also told us that dogs are not reliable? Most dogs don't actually, do much, and they're not correct. Char Bear, welcome to the Lollipops. Thank you for becoming a member. Aww. How sweet. Welcome, welcome. So glad to have you as one of ours. Yeah. How did he know it was only 3 feet deep? Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand this man, but he did say dogs were not very factual with their scent, when actually, in all reality, dogs are at about 98% correct. And there were 18 dogs out there searching, and 18 dogs at 98%. We can very well say there was no scent, there was no footprints.
Reason.
With that 911 or with that communication call, you can hear Max, or the handler of Max, talking about finding a footprint. Do you remember hearing that part of the radio?
There was a footprint and a boot print, and the footprint is not Sebastian's.
Okay.
Mhm.
Interesting.
And what about the mannequin?
Poppy Love, yes. Trafficking is a serious thing happening in the state of Tennessee. There is a corridor that goes through there that has been proven to be like trafficking highway. As far as Sebastian's case goes, I'm not sure if that's a possibility, and let me explain to you why I don't feel like it's trafficking. Sebastian has special needs. And with autism, they do have their freak out moments where they just kind of freak out and panic and all the things. And that is not something anybody would want to pay to be with. And that's why I don't think he would have made a good candidate for being trafficked in that way. But at the same time, it's so real and happening there in that area that it could be a possibility.
Because is that still there, or is that something that was?
So that mannequin has been in that barn window since I was a child. That went to Beach Elementary School myself.
Okay. So it's not another one. It's not like one's just standing loose in the area.
No, they dressed the mannequin up by season. Right now he's in his summer attire, so I think he's got like a Hawaiian shirt on right now. I think he's got
Yes, Poppy Love. I just did a video, couple of first of the week, I think it was. We did the Texas Roadhouse video. You'll have to go watch that. Some very interesting stuff with Yellow Jacket Guy. You'll have to go back and watch that one for sure.
baseball cap on, if I remember correctly.
He does.
Yeah, see? And then in the fall, come Christmas time, he'll be dressed up as Santa Claus in the window.
Oh, funny.
Halloween, they dress it up with a costume. I mean, it is, that thing has been a staple there since I was a kid, and I just hope they keep doing it.
I got to back up just a second, because you said there's a footprint and a boot print, and the footprint is not Sebastian's?
Correct. So that is an active construction site.
Right.
Okay, they had to make the retention pond first and foremost. That retention pond never existed. That was something they had to build.
what feeds it with the water? Where does the water come from?
So if there was a boot print, folks, y'all, let's think about this. We have seen the flashlight video. We have seen where it is lightened up and enhanced a little bit to where you could actually see a person. There is a person who seems to be carrying someone, and that person had boots on. Isn't that interesting?
It's just runoff. Retention ponds are runoff from to keep from having standing water. It has to have a place to go and drain properly so it does not flood an area. That's what a retention pond's for. So every subdivision, every place like that, there has to be a steady flow of water so nothing can be standing.
Right.
So the retention pond has one, or that is the retention pond over in that subdivision.
Okay, so my
Very
thought
true,
on
Bridget.
that, knowing how dogs work, and the dog went straight to the water. Water is a conductor. It helps to amplify scent. So my question is, what feeds that? Because Sebastian could have been up by where the source is, and his scent traveled down to the retention pond. That could be why the dogs went straight to the retention pond, because it had the strongest. It was the strongest conductor of.
Okay, this is where I'm going to have to say, sorry, ma'am, but I disagree with you, because a scent does not travel downhill. Your scent remains. They are stretching things so far, trying to make sense of what this man is saying. Folks, if you have a scent, if you have made contact with anything that would leave your scent remains there. It does not travel downhill. It just it just doesn't make sense.
His most recent scent.
That's very possible. I don't have the science behind it, to be honest with you. I don't. I mean, if that is the case, then that is that is possible. There's a dog handler, Julia
Valenti. Yeah.
We've talked, and she has informed me of that kind of stuff before, but that would not be something I'm going to sit here and tell you I'm an expert on. I am not. I would tell you to reach out to multiple dog handlers and ask that question.
I have a dog handler partner that, and like I have been on multiple things locally, and that's just part of the training that comes with it, is that water is a major scent conductor. When we searched for Amelia Brooks out of Billings, Montana, that's how we got led to where her remains were found, was because the dog alerted off a chute from the Yellowstone River, and she was off the Yellowstone River. And what it did was the dog caught her scent, and then the water is what amplified it, and she was up the way from where the dog first caught her scent. Anyway, that's why I was just curious as to why.
That's because your scent travels with the body. Y'all, somebody help them.
What feeds that retention pond. I know how it works. It's just to keep it moving and the flow. But I would be curious as to where the source of that water went. And that's where I would have somebody start with some dogs, Chris.
Well, so the water, okay, so that construction site has a slight elevation from up top where they cleared out the new phase. So all of that water is running from somewhere up on the top. I mean, it just hits and it starts flowing. But I mean, there's not one particular source from where that water starts flowing from.
Yeah. It just starts flowing.
If you did a Google search right now and you looked at probably the most updated pictures, you'll see the construction going on.
I agree, DJ.
That might be able to answer that
Blue
question a
eyes.
little bit better.
Okay, I'll try to pull it.
Mohawk, right?
I'll have him take a look.
Lord,
That's an excellent observation, by the way, also on that. Where would it, like, is there a way for it to go out somewhere where the scent would go to?
Well, there is a, from what I understand, there.
People, the scent goes with the body. The scent does not go away from the body if the body has not been there. Oh, Lord. Y'all, this is kind of funny.
And there is an overflow, so if the retention pond gets to a certain height, it does flood over into rainwater runoff into a pipe.
Have you guys been down in that area within the last month or so?
Oh yeah. I mean, I live right next door to it. I mean, it's
makes sense, right?
I love it, M-Cause.
I will go through every so often and just look. I mean, it's just weird. It truly is.
Oh,
So you mentioned the footprints.
weird.
And yes, I understand there's construction going on there, but when you say footprints, was it like a actual footprint without a shoe, or there was no footprint without a shoe?
No, it's a footprint without a shoe. Now, keep in mind that there are already families in that subdivision living near that retention pond, and there are children that are running around there. So the footprint did not meet the size of Sebastian.
Okay.
Is it not odd that it would be one boot on and one boot off, though?
That's what I thought, unless you got a boot stuck in the mud and then you, were there
Well,
tire
just-
tracks on the print?
We were told that there was a boot print and there's a footprint over there. I never said they were side by side. I didn't say where they were.
Right. Okay, got you.
So I don't want people to start thinking that, oh my God, no, I didn't say that. I just said that there was a boot print over there and there was a footprint over there. So.
And they never mentioned if it was the same size or anything like that either.
The boot print was way too big to be the footprint.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Okay.
So would that be your size, Mr. Chris? Would that be your boot print, Mr. Chris? Just asking.
All right. So it wasn't a match.
Not even close.
And when Max was dragging towards the scent, did he take the main road or like between the houses? Do you know anything about that?
Yes, actually. So Gray Hughes and I actually sat down. I talked with him for a while about this, and he pulled up some pictures and things like that. I would definitely go if you can find that where he actually posted the pictures on his stream or whatever. He has a very detailed, like from the house to where the pictures to where it follows, where it goes over. He did a very, very good job. He would pull a picture. He would ask about, well, what about this? And he would circle here. And I'm like, actually, no. So you follow this point, come down to this point, over to this point, and then he drew it out, and then he would send me the picture. And I was like, perfect, there you go. If you find that, you will find everything you need to know about that retention pond, directional, and everything.
Ray is amazing with that stuff.
I will go pull that. I will pull that and then have them look.
Yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
he does. I will say this. I know a lot of people don't necessarily agree with some of the things that he says on his show, but the conversation.
I will say this. A lot of talk about the retention pond in the beginning. And yet all of the activity from the night Sebastian went missing, just hours before he was reported missing, all came from the backyard of the Proudfoots house to the very beginning of Stafford Court and no further. That's it. None of that activity happened over at the retention pond. There was no sighting of Sebastian at the retention pond. According to law enforcement, there was no footprints and there was no scent anywhere around the retention pond.
Conversations we
like
had
Ray.
have been good, informative conversations. Nothing opinionated from anybody. It's just our conversation has been me and him, not on his show. It's just been
Yes, Cheryl.
us two talking.
Hey,
So
Chris,
is there-
when law enforcement was came back out to the public and said that it wasn't a like a positive hit or a positive track, and I'm sure that they talked to y'all. You're obviously talking about them following the path. Is the reason why they said what they did because it didn't lead to finding Sebastian, or is it because they're saying the dogs didn't have a track at all?
So I don't actually know. All I know is there were 3 dogs that followed the same path.
Wait a minute. I don't actually know. But let me tell you what happened. Oh my goodness. I don't actually know. His own words. I don't actually know. But
Path. 3 different dogs. They weren't in the same groups either. Different groups. And 3 dogs do wind up going to that same spot. Now, that's 3 out of anywhere from 13 to 18 different dogs that had
That's
been
what
in
I
my
was just
house.
going to ask. Were there other
And-
dogs that went other ways?
Oh yeah. Every single dog all took its own little path doing whatever. 3 of them went to the same area, but most of them all kind of went in their own area.
And did any of those areas?
like Mohawk Mom says, how does he even know these things? He was not home until 1 o'clock that day. There were dogs out there well before he arrived home, right?
Area, did any of those dogs, the ones that didn't go to the retention pond, did any of those other dogs all go to, did any go to, like any 2 hit on the same area?
That I don't know. As far as I know, only
Okay.
3 out of that number had the same path. Now, the rest of these dogs all went in various directions. But they all pretty much started the exact same spot.
Okay.
Most of them. So like on day 1, I know for a fact there was 5 dogs that walked in my house. 5.
Right.
On day 1. And that was, so Max the Belgian Malinois, he came in first. And we had a blue heeler, 2 bloodhounds, and a blue tick. That was day 1.
Yeah.
How many
That
on
was
day-
that
how
was
many on
probably
day-
your city, your county, your search and rescue, and a couple.
Lord, people, there were 18 dogs total. 18 dogs total. Sebastian's scent was not found. No footprint was found. The retention pond is of no relevance to this case. But they're going to spend tons of time on it.
Volunteers locally that law enforcement are like their first taps. That's generally your first string that comes in. They bring your city, your county, and then search and rescue, and then generally their first 2 to 3 on their call list. So
On the first day, Chris, how many of those 5 dogs went to the retention pond?
1 that I know.
1 of them. So 4 did not. Okay, gotcha.
Correct. And like I said, it was 3 different dogs from 3 different groups.
and yeah, that's pretty
Yes,
standard.
there's
When we did, sorry, Queen.
No, that's all right, baby. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
When we did the search up on Crystal Creek for Danielle Messick, we had 16 dogs
Yes,
and 9
Mohawk.
handlers, and they came from all over the country.
You
So that's
can't
very
tell a
common
true
for
story.
it to be different groups. I'm more curious about where the other dogs went, if there were any overlapping circles.
That I don't know.
That's okay.
No.
It's
That would have
we
to be.
know.
I could reach back out to Ken, the EMA
It's-
director, and ask him and see what he says.
listen. It could be part of the. It could be a section they don't want people going in, and it's not a problem. If they haven't told you, there's no reason to stress on anything like that. It's not. Honestly, it's not my place.
And out of those dogs, do you know, or do you have any idea if, which one, cadaver dogs, sniffing, whatever they are called, if there was a difference between the 3 type of dogs?
That I
would-
do not know.
You don't
I
They
do
know.
not.
probably ain't gonna tell him that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's the police department. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Yeah.
their. They ain't gonna tell him that. This is what you did with Gray Hughes. This is the map and stuff.
Oh, cool.
So it just says this is what him and Chris worked on.
Yeah.
Where he kind of explains stuff. Just because people keep asking about this retention pond, maybe it'll give them a better idea of where they're looking. You know what I'm saying? Can you kind of explain this, or do you want me to turn it up and have Gray do it?
No, I can do it. It don't matter.
Okay.
Strictly
Well, I just didn't want to. You know what I'm saying? I know that you. I appreciate you coming back on here. I feel like we're like people are just grilling the fuck out of you. I don't want to. I don't want to
How about this, folks?
make you uncomfortable or whatever. I just,
We don't want to be like that.
Where my cursor is their house. You come back out. Here's basically where the car lights were. This is where the video of the lights were picked up. Way over here is the retention pond. This is all now new development. All this is new development. Let's get a little past this. It is irrelevant.
I like to go to the facts and look at that. And that's the only way, if we're going to be able to help in any way, finding, is to get to the bottom of the facts.
Mhm.
And
Hey,
then we
boys,
go
is
on.
when did-
there is some information I cannot release.
Of course.
Period. We've
And
asked, we've
we don't
always
want
asked
you to
people
do
just to
that.
respect that.
We don't want you to do that. That is the one thing that we've had some great questions. Chat's been amazing again, because not once have you had to say to us, I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. That's the best part about this, right? So far we haven't hit anything like that. And I appreciate it so much.
Well, and I will say there might be some questions like if people have asked about my house. I don't care if law enforcement says I can't divulge it. I'm still not going to tell people just because, one, it's my house.
It's a safety concern. You have to live there.
Yeah, no.
I don't blame
Nobody
you.
should go into I wouldn't let anybody in my house or in my yard or around my yard. No, fuck that. Especially after we've seen everything that's been done
Trigger
to these
warning.
families. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, they could try to plant something or do anything. I mean, you don't know what they could do.
Keep
Oh.
the people away from your house. Absolutely not.
And that's one of the things that I know some people have ridiculed us over, like, oh, you won't let people. No, I'm not.
Bye,
I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
Reserve.
No, and I
Thanks for
wouldn't.
being here.
Unless you show up here with law enforcement in hand, and it has to be one, somebody we know that's involved in this case.
Right.
If you're not, I'm going to ask you to leave.
Well, and
They did this to the Wells too. You know, the Wells were very, very open, and oh yeah, anybody can come. They were letting YouTubers up there and everything.
Nope.
And then all of a sudden they were like, okay, this is enough. This is getting crazy. This is enough. And they stopped letting people up there. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, they're guilty. They're not letting anybody up there, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, I don't blame them one bit. I mean, your life has been totally turned upside down. Every piece of.
Look, folks, it comes down to this. It's not our place to go up on their property, look around and search. That's not what we're here for. That is not our job. Law enforcement has done that. We have to trust that they have and know everything. And yet, if somebody wants to hang a flyer on the light post outside, why is that a problem? Why does that later become a problem? Sounds like a personal thing to me. But these people are just,
everything in your life. And I don't blame you one bit. It's like, God, give these people some privacy. Fuck. Sorry.
Well, a lot of what I have noticed when it comes to creators and questions that they want to know, and they're like, well, they're guilty because they can't answer, or they dodge this. I mean, there are creators out there saying that, and unfortunately, maybe those creators should step back and think of it from the law enforcement perspective of them telling us not to answer those questions.
well, we would if law enforcement actually said that. We would consider that. But some of us know better. Several of us know the truth. They've never told you that.
Right.
And they don't. They just feel like we don't have these answers. We need these answers to make it. Like, no, you don't. You don't need anything.
Well, that's why they had to cut Seth off, right? I mean, because he kept telling things he shouldn't have been saying.
Yeah.
It kept, so even if it was a slip up, even if he didn't mean to, I mean, he was still slipping up and saying things he
I'm
shouldn't
going
have
to
been
tell you
saying.
right now, and no, I'm not being bashing when I say this, but Seth has not said anything as a slip up.
Right.
Anything
So
he has said, he has meant to say on purpose.
Sure.
It's just openly
I
outing.
believe that.
Like you, Mr. Chris, you don't slip up, right?
But I
well,
mean,
there you go. And that's another reason why, I mean,
do I agree with what he's doing?
He's not the only one
No.
that have,
Well, I don't agree with what he's doing, but at the same time, he's a grieving father who wants an answer. He just wants an answer. However, any which way he can get an answer, he wants an answer.
Right.
That's where he's at.
And I don't blame him for that. You know what I mean?
I'm not saying he shouldn't be like that, but I do feel that could be a dangerous and a very vulnerable place to be for folks to take advantage.
Right. I agree.
I agree with that fully, because he will go to no lengths, and it could put him in a compromising position.
Very much.
Anybody that promises him that they're going to help him find him, he's believing them.
Well, everybody out there can make that promise, and they can help find Sebastian in ways that they say they can, but as long as they're doing it legitimately and legal, that is the key thing. Don't be out.
So if someone is just out looking around, seeing what they can find, and they find Sebastian, it was an illegal find? Why would you deter anyone from passing through and, hey, let's spend an hour and look around and see if, we can't find something? I don't understand the logic behind his thoughts.
Be out here doing something illegal. Don't be doing something crazy that that can potentially jeopardize the situation or anything. Don't do that. I mean, that's just wrong. I mean, you could obscure the investigation, and God knows 3 of us do not want that to happen.
Right.
Right. I think there's a little more than 3 that don't want that to happen.
2 of them don't want it to happen at all.
But I mean, I'm not
no search.
Those more than those 3 for sure. I mean, I'm not speaking for Seth, but I'm definitely speaking for me and my wife. When
I was thinking law enforcement. I don't think law enforcement wants their investigation compromised.
Oh God, no! I know they don't. I mean, they had that press thing they did. When was that? March.
Oh, is that the one that we played again? We played this morning, where they talked about how they were going back from the beginning and they were putting some fresh eyes and re-looking at everything all over again.
Yes, Chief Craddock was speaking, and then they used the TBI spokeslady.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yep, and that was a very small press conference. They called local news that went up there. I know exactly where it was done and everything like that. Katie and I weren't there. Seth wasn't there. They did that completely away from everything near us and all that stuff. But I mean, I've got full faith in them that they're doing what they can and how they can.
That was going to be a question I had that I wanted to ask the other night was, do you feel like they're doing everything and are you confident or comfortable with what Ellie is doing?
Oh, very much. Very much.
Guys, I'm going to have to stop here and just reply to Natasha. She says, Chris, it takes a good man to understand what Seth is going through. I respect you don't talk bad about him. Well, maybe I shouldn't reply to that. And Mohawk Mom's right. That was April. He and his wife were in Mississippi.
I mean, they didn't even have to give me the polygraph. I asked for the polygraph. They gave me the polygraph. I mean, they've been extremely helpful in every aspect of this.
Rose, I don't understand your question here. Hey, Lolly, I need to tell you something. Oh, you need to tell me something. I read that backwards. Okay, tell us what you think, Rose. Do you want to email me? You can email me if you would like. Let me put my email in here. There's my email if you want to email it to me. I'm infatuated with the Amish and the way they live. There you go, Rose. Yeah, send me an email. Thank you. Anytime anybody has anything that you want to talk about or think is important or whatever, email me, guys. Yes, Mohawk. That is almost 100% fact right there. Chris is the script writer.
Listen, like I said before, did it kind of start out when we were in the best of terms? No, because there's some things that I didn't like that happened, and I stated my piece, and things after that, things have been great. But I also understand that they have a job to do, and I have to go by that, and I've been happy ever since. I'm not discrediting them by any means, shape, form, or fashion.
Oh, this is
I
funny.
mean, people like, I know there's something out there. Somebody's asking about law enforcement being or FBI being involved.
High passion flower.
FBI's been involved since like day one. So I don't understand where this comes in that people don't think they are, but they are.
Right. I always thought FBI was always involved with a missing child.
Not always.
Oh, I always thought they were. Huh.
No, not always.
Oh,
There's certain aspects of certain
education,
things that will
people,
bring the FBI to-
education.
They'll always render assistance. Understand that. They will always give their assistance if asked for it.
Sure.
But most of the time, if it's a state case, the state runs the case.
Interesting.
I mean, we live in Sumner County. Sumner County spearheading the case. TBI is assisting in the case. FBI is assisting. Secret Service is assisted. There are so many other law enforcement agencies across the state and other states that have rendered assistance to this case. So, I mean, I don't see how they're not doing what they can do.
Right. I was surprised. Was it Summer Wells or was it another missing child? When I heard Secret Service was involved, and I was like, really? I didn't know Secret Service did that, but apparently they do. That was interesting for me to find out.
Well, I mean, think of it like this. So agencies have their specialties, and some people have a little bit better equipment in doing certain things than others.
Yeah.
I mean,
That makes
so, I
sense.
mean,
Yeah.
if you could reach out and get assistance from another group that has some much more.
Mohawk Mom, these people here need a lot of education. The card team is the FBI.
Or technically advanced systems than maybe what your local law enforcement has, then you definitely want to use it. Then, you know, you reach out and you get the assistance. And that's what they did. That's what they've done. I mean,
That's good. I figured they did, but, you know, some people don't understand all that stuff, you know?
well, there's some folks involved creator-wise that know this. They're just choosing not to
Right.
accept it. They feel, oh, there can be something else done. Well, cool. If so, then let's have it. What else can be done?
They're trying to cause more drama is all it is. They're trying to ask more questions to cause more drama.
You've been really open and receptive to ideas.
I'm anything. What can we do to bring our son home? That is the question. I mean, don't get me wrong. Somebody wants to bring a dog in my house, like I said, you ain't coming in my house unless you have law enforcement involved in this case with you hand in hand.
I don't blame you for that.
You know, I'm sorry that I don't accept certain people's help on certain aspects. No, I don't need Tony Mathis as a spokesperson for me and my wife. We don't. You know,
Hell no.
I mean, he's working with Seth. That's his thing. Go that route. But we don't need you. It's nothing personal. We just don't need you.
It's dangerous because of people's motivations, isn't it? You don't know what motivates them. And you're doing the right thing. I wouldn't let anybody in my house either if I were you, unless it's with law enforcement.
When it comes to PR, we don't need a spokesperson.
Mm.
I mean, if we did, don't take this the wrong way, but
He should have listened to his own advice before he hired.
first thing we would do is we talk to law enforcement and say, hey, we're going to get a spokesperson, and we tell them who it's going to be. And then we'll go from that point. 9 to 1, we're going to use a lawyer, a law firm. We're not using, I'm sorry, it's no personal attack on anybody who is a PR person.
No.
But one, if your job is not being a PIO or a PAO or a lawyer that specializes in this, no offense, I don't need
POS.
assistance. Because to me, it's just too many possible liabilities involved. I'm good. I appreciate it, but no thank you.
Yep. No, I don't blame you one bit. Like I said, I mean, you start bringing in this riffraff and stuff, and like I said, they could be like trying to plant things or trying to, and they could screw everything up so that no justice would come for Sebastian. And I don't blame you one bit. I'm happy that you're smart enough to do that, because boy, this could be a whole other mess.
Why would
Because the
someone
Wells,
want
I
to
don't think that they
plant
were quite
something?
smart enough, and they allowed some of these YouTubers in their lives way too far into their lives, and it just ended up being a whole jumbled up mess for them. I mean, I'm not saying that the Wells were perfect parents or anything, but I really honestly don't believe they did anything to Summer, and my opinion. And yeah, people.
Holly S. Thank you so much. Let me get back over here to the right page. Let me find you. Well, I hit the wrong thing here. Tell you what, got too many screens open. Holly, thank you so much for the super sticker. Love you so much, girl. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys, we got a little bit more to go. We're almost done. But it's amazing to hear how they think. It amazes me to no end how their thought process was or still is. Yeah, I don't know if she knows all that. All the behind the scenes house visits they've been doing.
People just wreaked havoc on their life, boy. Just terrible.
Well, I mean, first and foremost, there is not one single solitary perfect parent in this world other than the man upstairs himself, who we all call our father. That's the only perfect one. Other than that, ain't nobody perfect.
Exactly.
You know, letting these people in, God forbid this ever happens to somebody that you personally know very close to you, or it happens to you or anybody else for this matter. Law enforcement told us, I don't recommend talking to social media, period.
Yep.
Period. And the reason why is because they will find a way to twist and turn and make this into something that it's not, and it will make it ugly from the get-go. Now, we understood this, so we listened to them, tried, you know, if everybody goes back and looks, when we started first reaching out, it was toward the last part of the 8 days of the investigation, when we knew that they were going to start drawing down.
You needed to amp up your next move because law enforcement was drawing down.
Right, but we didn't do it without talking to law enforcement first. We haven't gone out there to talk on a news outlet or social media without talking to law enforcement first. What can we say? What can we not say? Is there anybody you recommend that we don't utilize? We do utilize, et cetera, et cetera. And that's the way it is. And that's the way it's been ever since. And that's the way it's going to stay that way. Every interview I'm talking on, or I've given, and just talking in general, nothing that we have said is anything that we were not given permission to talk about. So that's why there's no issues with it. I'm not going to sit here and dig into something and make it up something that's truly not.
No issues, guys. Not going to make it into something it's not.
Right.
Are you guys receiving any sort of assistance as far as like from law enforcement advocacy groups trying to help you as far as, you know, what to do? And were you given any assistance in that way at all as a family?
They get you in contact with a person who can assist you in getting certain things, but they don't provide you anything. And they can't, because one, it becomes a conflict of interest type situation. So like a spokesperson, they're not going to provide you a spokesperson. You want one, you go get one. If you want to talk to a therapist or a group or something like that, they can put you in touch of an area to start, but they're not going to provide you a therapist. Because
they point you in the direction of resources, right?
Correct. They can give you resources, but it's up to you to do what you need to do.
Okay.
And no disrespect to anybody, but I don't necessarily want somebody telling me, well, you got to use this and this and this. That's no. I've never been okay with that. I'm not going to be able to get that now. So, you know, if there's a doctor out there I need to see, that I will go see a doctor.
This is Gray Hughes live stream that we're watching. So I put his link in the chat for anybody that wants to go back and watch it yourselves with his commentary and stuff on it, because it's muted right now. So if there's anybody that wants to watch it, the link is in the chat. Sorry, guys.
No.
And I recommend watching it. I watched it and it was very interesting. He's such a smart man. I mean, he just knows his stuff, especially with
Yeah,
this
he really
math
is. And
stuff.
with Chris here to help kind of break it down, I think it's, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of interesting.
Right.
Well, I've left it open for a lot of people to, if you got a question to ask, be respectful. I mean, we're still getting nasty messages from people out there. And it's sad. It really is sad that it is at that point. But like I said, it's their opinion, and that's fine.
Once again, Chris, you guys are getting a lot of support in the chat. I've seen several comments roll by talking about how very sincere and kind you are. So I know that, contrary to popular belief, I wanted you to know that people see, like, they're seeing you and they're hearing you. They're really open and receptive to all the information and everything you're giving. So
You just ruined your reputation, Chris. Way to go. You're not the asshole that everybody thought you were.
Oh, no. All they gotta do is go play that audio tape, you know?
No, he'll tell you he's an asshole. Just give it a second.
I would say he comes on over here on this side of the street as an asshole. Starts out with a chip on his shoulder. We hear a whole completely different side, and that's only because they're not questioning him. They'll ask him a question, he answers it, and they help him try to explain it and make it fit. And guys, it doesn't fit. I mean, it's common sense. His story does not fit. It only fits his script. Hi, Kaika. Thanks for coming in.
No, like, legitimately, like I will be honest with you. Like I'm a very brash, direct person, and I don't really care. But you know, if you're respectful, I'll be respectful.
YouTuber, sorry.
But I'm gonna give it to you.
Sure.
I think that's a lot of creators don't understand, or at least their followers don't understand, is if you're going to talk to somebody, then going after them in an aggressive manner or accusatory manner or whatever you want to say, that's going to get you absolutely nowhere. So if you talk to humans with respect, like I've seen a lot of the panels the last few days have, you know, that's going to get you somewhere. Not all this screaming and theatrics and all the other shit.
There's no theatrics. There's no screaming. We ask a question. He's the one that gets all huffy and puffy. Not us. And folks, I would advise you that if you want to know about the Lights video, watch Mob Crew. Go to the Mob Crew. Because he has it exact. He shows the right angle. That video, that recorder on the side of that house is not showing this view. It's not possible. YouTuber. Tell you what, don't let me get worked up. You'll be hearing more than that.
Right.
Well, my biggest thing is when you do your shows, there's a difference in opinions and facts. There's a difference in if you want to analyze this word over that word. Are you truly kidding me that you want to play semantics over this or that? Like, look at the meat and the potatoes of the conversations. They don't change.
Yeah, you really don't mince words, and there's really, in the way you speak very directly, and there's no way to misinterpret what you say.
Well, a lot of that comes because Katie gave an interview. She said some words. And in another interview, she gave almost the exact thing, but she may have changed. Or in one interview, she didn't talk about the thud she heard. And the next interview, she hears a thud.
No, sir, Mr. Chris. It was several interviews. And my question to you, Mr. Chris, how is it that your wife was falling asleep at 10:30, talking on the phone to you till midnight and doing the other two while she's doing a chapter of her homework. That's 3 completely different stories. That's why she was questioned about it, because it wasn't until the Nancy Grace interview, one of the very last ones, she said that a thud was mentioned. She said she heard a noise, tell him to cut it up, cut off what, or stop whatever you're doing, cut it up, quick, whatever. She told him to stop. But the word thud has been mentioned 1 time. And that is when Nancy Grace cornered her. And she wasn't falling asleep at 10:30. She wasn't just talking on the phone to you till midnight. That was also the first time we heard she was doing homework. So no, none of it makes sense. She can't be doing all those at the same time.
Okay. Well, people don't understand that maybe we didn't have the permission to give that information at the time.
Right.
Once again,
Bullshit.
everything we give.
People don't take that stuff into consideration, though. They're just like, oh my God, she didn't say that, so she's a liar.
Yeah, and she's guilty. Oh my God, you know.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. It fucking gets real old real quick.
But you
Or
also
it's people
don't.
that feel like they're entitled to information that they're not entitled to have. They're not entitled to that information. You guys are not supposed to be giving stuff out, but they're not entitled to that information even if you are.
Well, the funniest one, and that's, I call it funny just because it's for me, but like me and Katie had a 3-hour phone conversation. Well, is that normal? Is that?
Oh my
is that
God.
once a week?
Oh, I know.
Oh my God, I got so tired of that.
Nothing about this is funny, Mr. Chris. Nothing. There's nothing funny about the fact that y'all can't tell the truth. The truth never changes, but your stories continue to change each time you get on and you speak. That is not funny. If your wife wants to talk to you for 3 hours, so be it. That's her business. But when she's talking to you for 3 hours and her son goes up missing and she has no clue what happened, in this scripted version of what could have happened plays out, and even your script changes, we all know it's not the truth. Yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes must be the new math. Even the timeline of your 3-hour phone call changed. None of it makes sense. That's the problem. And that's not funny. I get so aggravated when he says the funniest part of this is there's nothing funny about the fact that Sebastian's missing. And that timeline leading up to the hours of when he disappeared is very important.
That.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. However I long talk to my wife is my business. It really doesn't matter to anybody else.
I will look into that, Rose.
Right.
If your significant other goes out of town and works and you don't get to see them, what do? You have a conversation. You know, sometimes we will sit on the phone and watch a show together.
Yep.
On the phone. She'll have it on her TV. I have it on my TV. We're watching it.
Yep.
It's just, it's a thing. Don't take this the wrong way, but we're also prior military. We know the difference in long distance relationship, true long distance relationships.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not my husband's 50 miles down the street and I can't spend the night with him. You know, no.
Right.
Like all the way deployed across the country, all the way deployed across the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Mohawk. Don't get me started on that one. She wakes up at 6 o'clock. By 6:03, she's in the car after she's woke him up. Wait, he's not there. So she goes to the kitchen to make sure he's not in the kitchen that she just passed on the way to waking him up. Then she looks the whole house over. Inside and out, she says. in 1 minute. In the car at 6:03, on the phone with her husband, and the dispatch call comes in at 6:36. But yet, this last interview we heard, it was 6:30-ish, 6:33, when she's in the car looking. None of it makes sense. The truth does not change. And those are the little things that make every bit of this story up. You shouldn't have to change your story at all.
What I don't like is how they goat you into a certain conversation. And I think that's not fair, because they have a motivation
Yes,
to
Rose,
get you
she
to
was
say something
already
or get you
dressed.
to talk about something that,
They're trying, but they're not
Yeah.
very successful.
well, and then I have to say you've been very composed as opposed to how I would have been. If I learned somebody, recorded me on a conversation, that would have been like, I probably would have reacted a little bit stronger than you. So, kudos to you for that. It's crazy.
Well, here's the thing. Any of these conversations that they have that's recorded, I don't care, because you can release them. There's
Yeah.
nothing in there that law enforcement doesn't already know, or I haven't been cleared to give the information about. I mean,
No, I hear that. That's not the problem. The problem is they talk to you in a certain way when you talk to that person, right? Oh, yeah, I understand. You're completely right. And then they turn a 360 and then they say, well, that was wrong. And he did this to me. And he did, you know what I mean? So it becomes like they create this drama around it that's not necessary, because she's sitting there agreeing with you over the phone, but then she turns it around for her audience to look like something else, right? And I think that's where all this chaoticness comes from, is that motivation to do that.
I would have much more respect for a lot of.
No, all the chaoticness comes from their mouths. That's where the chaos comes from their mouth. The words they say, the things they try to convince us of, and each time they speak, it's different. They expect us to follow their storyline every time they talk, but yet we can't keep up because it's never the same. That's called chaos.
These creators, if they actually stuck to them being themselves, not fake. And there's a lot of them out there that they'll have their show and they'll do their thing. They'll talk smack.
That was Holly.
Let everybody else do it. And then you go on their show and it's like, oh, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, it's been super nice, blah, blah, blah. You're being very helpful. And then the next day they turn around and start running you right back through the mud.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you kidding
Like
me?
Smiley did to y'all?
Yeah.
She ain't the only one. There's many of them out there.
But that shows motive in what they're doing, that they're not out to help Sebastian. That's just creating something out of nothing, right? They're trying to create something out of nothing.
It's fattening their pocketbooks is
Yeah.
exactly what it's doing.
So I hate to do this. Is there any way, and I'm so detailed oriented and I'm sorry, and you can say no. Is there any way we can talk about that garbage truck that comes in the middle of the night? Is that something that's been over talked?
No,
Ladies, let me
Lord.
know if it's too much.
What do you want to know?
Gray Hughes talks about it.
Whatever he's comfortable with, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's completely up to him. Whatever he's comfortable answering, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
I just don't want to do drama. I like
It's
facts.
not drama. I mean, trust me, I'll let you know if we can go down the road or not. I mean,
Yeah. No, I want to know, because, okay, I'm just fascinated by what we have and what we don't have, right? And
Okay.
so when you go down and you look at that footage, it looks like it cuts through the neighborhood, but because it's not like an aerial, it's from somebody's point of view that we see that camera footage, correct?
Are you talking about the
garbage
one
truck.
footage that everybody says was flashlight?
Yes,
with the
yes,
lights.
yes,
Look,
correct.
this
Yes.
right here. You mean right here? These
Correct.
lights here?
Correct.
Yes,
those.
that's been debunked. Gray Hughes did this. This is his video, but he debunked it with.
Gray Hughes is the only one that's debunked that video. If you notice, law enforcement came out and debunked the newest video very, very quickly and said it was of no relevance to this case. They debunked it a long time ago. Folks, they have never said, they said at the very beginning that there was no evidentiary value to this video as of then. As of then. They didn't have everything They didn't have everything they needed. But this video was never supposed to be leaked. This was one thing they were keeping under their vest, and it got leaked out to Nick Barris. Someone recorded it with their phone and sent it to Nick Barris. This was a video they were holding on to. And I will bet $100 to each and every one of those people on that panel right now, this will be part of the smoking gun. And I don't even have $100, y'all. That's how certain I am.
With Chris. I know Chris both did.
Okay, so basically that's just the garbage truck because it's in the middle of the night. Did they really come that early in the morning at your house? I mean, it's like ridiculous if that's the truth.
So no, it's not ridiculous. You got to understand something. We're not in the city.
Right, they're outside of town.
So I live outside of city limits.
Yeah, you're not in Davidson County, right? Yeah.
No, I'm in Sumner County.
Yeah.
Please don't.
TJ, I think we're gonna get rich.
It's the same county. God, please don't.
Oh, come on now, don't do
No,
that.
I live in Davidson. Come on. I know the difference. I know the difference.
My father lives in Davidson County, so
Yeah.
I've lived there.
Wow.
I went to Hunter's Lane. I ain't scared to say it.
You went to,
Night,
you went
Miss
to Hunter's Lane?
Kathy.
Yes, sir.
Love you.
I'm not gonna start my jokes. You can keep going.
You know, I know you're going. That's good.
I backed it up. Do I need to go forward? Did I back it up by accident? We don't need to rehear all this. Let's see. We'll go a little closer in.
Garbage, nothing else at all.
What? That's a garbage truck?
Yes, yes.
It is absolutely a garbage truck.
Okay, I just want to know
Yeah.
because it looks a little bit like it looks a little bit like people. I thought it was somebody walking their dog. That made more sense to me. In the middle of the night, somebody worked early and go out walk their dog. But of course, I believe you.
So here's the one element about that video that most people haven't thought about. That me and Gray looked this over, and I told him. So where that camera footage was taken from, okay?
Mhm.
If you look where you see that flashing light at the top,
Mhm.
okay, that's where
I
that's
agree,
on
Holly.
another
I think
road
they're
on the
wearing
top of the hill.
headlamps.
That's not even in our subdivision. Now everybody's like, well, you can't. No, there's no way. Actually, if you think about when this was taken, there was no leaves on the trees,
Mhm.
so nothing had blossomed.
Yeah.
So you can see clear up on that ridge line, that road. I mean, you can see the houses. And he
Mhm.
picked up the trash. He went through it, turned around, and went right back through it.
Is it cut down, this version, or is there like a better version of this that you've seen, or is it the same?
All right, so the video that you guys see is actually a video clip that Nick Burris took, okay, of a video. It's the upper right-hand corner of the actual video. It's not even the whole video.
Mhm.
Like, you're not seeing everything that's in the picture. You're only seeing the upper right-hand.
Guys, he's an idiot. He knows exactly what this is, and he is trying his very, very, very best to make people think this is a trash truck. Tell me what trash truck is that long for headlight and tail lights, and tell me what trash truck does not have lights surrounding the whole entire vehicle. This is his way of making people think there is nothing to this video because he himself knows exactly what this video is all about.
Right-hand corner.
Yeah.
And then they zoomed in to blow it up to make it look like it's this big, huge thing. It's really not.
Mhm.
It's truly not.
So that's why
I mean,
it looks like you're. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Clue has seen our subdivision. She could tell you, where the camera was. No,
Mhm.
it's not. You're not seeing the whole video.
No, he just he just made it really one section of it kind of crazy. Just to start some drama.
He clipped the part that had meat to it. How about that?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, because it doesn't give that full picture, and it tells not the right story, right?
Right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that's why that
Do you think so, Mohawk Mom? I had wondered if it was shown and recorded on purpose to put out. I don't know. But they sure are trying hard to put this off as a trash truck. I'm sorry, but folks, one light of the trash truck does not stay by a car that's headlights and tail light is on, and the other light of the trash truck does not run off to the backyard of the Proudfoot's house. Doesn't work that way. There's this thing called common sense, and we have that. We have that. Obviously, they don't.
Caused so much uproar just because of the way he cut that video and presented it and it's breaking news. It's like, it's not breaking news, dude.
Mhm.
Like, there's no video out there that got released to anybody that me and Katie and Seth haven't already seen.
Mhm.
Period.
Well, on that, in the beginning, especially, my biggest thing is there's just no way that a camera didn't pick him up. But then I have to ask myself, is there any camera footage of the trash truck coming up and down the road? And the reason I ask is if there's not, then that would make sense to me that he could walk down the road and not set off one of the ring cams. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I can tell you this much, that yes, there is video footage of the trash truck picking up our trash.
Oh, gotcha.
And you can see the outline of the truck. I can't give you the time, but I can tell you that much.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, this neighborhood is so...
Let me give you some times. This flashlight video, as it's called, was at 3:10 a.m. The trash truck video that is caught is at 5 a.m. There is 2-hour difference between these two videos.
so dark.
Yeah.
They've actually tried to go back and reproduce some of the camera footages. And they've actually had law enforcement walk in front of certain cameras and they didn't even pick them up because it's
dark.
so dark. Yeah.
It's
Probably
super
also
dark.
depends on the phase
Yes,
of the
Holly,
moon
I've
at that
seen the
time, because the
picture.
moon, if it
It's
was
crazy.
like full, it's going to give more light than if it's a night without the moon.
Well, and to the question or to the statement about, you know, the trash truck was caught. Can you say if it was or wasn't a motion activated camera that caught it?
Yes, it was. It was my neighbor's camera across the street.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and give you that. That's nothing new. I mean, that is the camera.
But you're thinking about a truck versus like a
Well,
person. You know what I mean?
my question's more: was it something that was recording all the time, or did it detect the motion of the truck, or do you know, or can you even say? Questions in one there.
So I can't really disclose what kind of camera system he has. That's not fair.
No,
especially not without having his permission.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, his camera's the one that picked up the footage stuff that people have talked about being leaked, minus the trash truck that came from a totally different house.
Okay.
You ruined it.
What?
All night there, not been a question that he couldn't answer, and there you go.
Well, I'm just trying to.
Good
get
job.
a little more information to help with where truth was going with that, right? Because I don't know. The more I've thought about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I got to put some credit into. He absolutely could have not been caught on camera. So, you know,
I mean, I can answer it like this: there are cameras out there that you set the parameters on.
Yeah.
That the sensitivity, aka parameters, on how they operate.
Yeah.
And how long they record. I mean, if you have certain ones, you can even determine, like the camera can identify the shape of what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to go back to the 3-hour conversation that him and Katie had. I've been married 31 years, and if me and my husband are in different places, like sometimes he works out of town, it is normal for us to have a 3-hour conversation. It's normal for us to have a conversation where we don't even talk at all and we're just sitting there. And I've been married for 31 years, which everybody thinks that, you know, if you're married over 20, you guys don't love each other or whatever. But yeah, I'm just saying that is totally normal to have a 3-hour conversation. If you're not having conversations like that with your husband or wife, you might want to look at that, you know, and not.
Okay. not taking marital advice today. Guys, I think we've heard enough of this for today. If you want to finish watching, I will have her link in the chat. And it is Sunday Night Shambles. Chris Proudfoot comes to hang out and chat. It was 9 months ago that we heard these, or hearing these words from. And I thought it was something we really needed to talk about, discuss, go over, because you do hear a different side of Chris Proudfoot. He is very relaxed. He was in his element. He had people that believed him, and he had people that did not question what he said. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying that everything he's telling us is a lie. I question a lot of things he says. I question a lot of what his wife says. But I did want to play that because the way he goes about carrying himself is 100% completely the opposite. Yes, neuro. Me. Exactly. It was all about him. It was people on panel that they were totally 100% agreeing and helping him to explain and make everything make sense. I guess we could say, in a way, they were stroking his ego. So, anyways, it's good to have that different perspective. It's good to have that different side to hear when he's relaxed and talking and not worried and about being questioned too hard and people believing in him. It's good to hear that version. There's so much that's been put out since that 9 months ago. It would, a scent in the water would travel down. I know that the dogs can pick up the scent in the water. And I know the scent does not leave the water. Yeah. Clue used to be on against him. Yep. Filming his house and everything, driving by. But it's okay because they're friends now. They're cousins, remember? Anyways, guys, I appreciate each and every one of y'all being here. I know Justin is fixing to go live, so I'm going to let everybody go. So you got time to stretch your legs, go potty, get you some refills and things. So I apologize for all the confusion to get this live up and going. Apologize for yesterday not being able to be on here with you guys. I love y'all so much, and I thank you for all your support, and let's just stick together and keep sifting through. And like I said, I was going to play the version Reverend Donna gave of her reading. You heard Chris explain how he was worried that if he was captured somewhere, being held somewhere, and he escaped. With caution, listen to Reverend Donna and what she says about Sebastian being taken somewhere and him trying to escape. And I will have links in the description as soon as we end this. I will have them in there. But guys, for now, thank you all for everything. Thank you for the new memberships, the super sticker. I appreciate each and every one of you. And tomorrow we will be back and have some more discussions. And with that being said, love and hugs to everyone. Have a great night. I'll see y'all on the streets. Bye.